Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? Hi, guys. Happy Wednesday. Happy new month. I don't think I got to say that to you guys. Happy new month to everyone. I hope this month started with a bang. I don't know if I said happy new month. I don't know if I even have done a video. Did I do a video? I think I did a video last week, but I forgot to say happy new month. Happy new month. Here it is. Happy new month, guys. How are you all doing? Thanks to all my wonderful supporters. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are too much. Thank you for my returning subscribers. I appreciate your support. Let's get me to 2K so we can keep this ministry moving forward. Today, this one is a conversation that probably would have had on Monday, but it's something that I've been seeing pop up on my during my search and my work on Peter Obi's internet. Hmm. My people, I don't know. I brought this topic for us to discuss. Hello, Merrick. Welcome. You're the first here. Yay. Welcome, Merrick. Thank you for joining me once again. Happy new month to you. I hope your month started with a bang. Hmm? I hope everything started with a bang and you're enjoying the month so far. We're in the ember month. It's cold out here, but hey, we are trying to keep ourselves warm. Anyway, guys, this conversation when I bring this ubonge tori when I bring, we need to break the melon though. On top of this thing, the address. Mm. So anyway, like I was saying, so I saw a few videos that I came across, right? There was a lady who actually did a video talking about the impact of their move from Nigeria to, wherever they moved to, the impact it had on their marriage and how it's affected them and all of that. And then I saw another video on TikTok. Somebody was sharing the same thing. Matter of fact, this couple, like, they moved outside of Nigeria for like 3 months, and the marriage broke down after 3 months of living in wherever they moved to, right? And then I saw another video again. This time, the man now came out and was sharing like, information as to, he was talking about how his marriage broke down and they moved, and he's wondering, and he was asking like sort of a question to people like, is this something, do they know anybody who this kind of thing has happened to? And nobody wants you, nobody talks about the impact moving places can do to a marriage. What do I know? Me, I'm a JJC in this matter, so I brought it here so that the people that are married can come and share. People that maybe they were married back in Nigeria or wherever, maybe in another part of Africa, can hopefully join this conversation and tell us. Oh, Mirabelle, my darling, good to see you. Oh, look at that. You were thinking about me. Oh, I feel so loved. Neka, my village sister, welcome. Make una enter, and I hear Neka, Neka, I go definitely would like to pick your brain on this matter because so this particular one, when I do first one, the lady came out and she was like, nobody saying no, say in from Nigeria to the place when they move, go get impact on their marriage like this. Say now, wait, now something when he no expect at all. Okay, so I couldn't wonder what is it about moving that leads to breakups in marriages. What is it about the move? Is it the move? Is it the impact of the move, the stress of the move itself? That causes the breakup, or is there something else to it? That's the question I have. Yay, BB, welcome. Greetings to everyone. And so make we talk this matter. Make we break melon on top of this matter. Because me, I won't understand for those of us that are married, that were married from Nigeria and then relocated, what kind of impact did it have on your marriage? And is it a factor? Is moving a factor? And if it is, how has it affected? How do you think it can affect a marriage breaking down? Because in my own mind, though, I don't think moving location is enough to just kaput a marriage, unless there's something else going on there. You understand? So I'm curious. Hey, cool mama. Oh my God, cool mama. So good to see you. Long time. Oh, we've missed you a lot. To our village sister. Eh? Village sister. How have you been? Eh? I hope you're good. I hope everything is good with you. Do you want to be on camera, baby? Okay, I've taken you. Okay, you've taken yourself. Good. Yes. So,
Hello,
baby,
hello,
welcome.
hello.
Hello, my darling sister. Welcome. So good to hear your voice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. Yes, I'm so glad to see everyone. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, guys. I know I hadn't done a video this week because I've it's been quite busy for me. Neka says those two marriages you mentioned, in my opinion, had problems before they left Nigeria. Okay, okay. So yeah, Bibi, you hear waiting I did talk now. The topic. Did you start from the beginning?
No, I did not. I only
Okay.
just realized my time and it was late, so I went to get my phone.
Okay. So I was saying that I've been on Peter Obi's internet, I've been finding videos, I've been coming across videos where people moved from Nigeria, for instance, and moved to a different place, and they're talking about how it's having an impact on their marriage. I've seen like 4, 5 videos like that, TikTok and on YouTube. So my curiosity piqued. I was like, what's going on? Is it the stress of the move, of the marriage? Or is there something else? Because I don't understand. A move is not enough to I wouldn't think to put pressure on a marriage to the extent that it would kaput. So I want, those of you that are married from Nigeria, what's your take on it?
Wow. I'll start it this way. Change is not something that is very comfortable for a lot of people.
Mm,
Um, it doesn't matter a child that changes from one school to another school, or when you move from one location to another, change is not a very it's not a comfort zone that you jump into right away. You
okay.
have to psychologically put yourself in that space. Now, marriage at home is more family oriented. Family oriented in the sense that if you marry one person, say, okay, now only two of us go day, nobody go enter put mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You have in-laws, you have friends, you have acquaintances, you have colleagues, and one way or the other, they all have an impact. They may not have a say, but they all have an impact. Um, I think the first question to ask is the couples that marry at home, are most of them friends before they get married?
Mm,
Because if there is a good friendship, not dating now, because people can date and not necessarily be friends. There are people that get married after dating, but they were not really friends. And they get into that relationship and find out that what they don't like about each other actually outnumbers what they like about each other. And then they
mm,
start having problems. But because they were dating and everything looked so lovely and the Ashwebi was, sizzling, it looked as if it was fantastic. Because when there is friendship in the marriage, it doesn't, just like you have your siblings, nothing goes perfect. There will be squabbles. But whatever the squabble is, since it's intentional for it to work on
right.
both parties, you will make it work. So it's not the move that is the problem, but the move does strain it to the point where if they both now get to this new location and they cannot necessarily agree on so many things, it puts a heavy damp on the marriage, and then it starts to crack. And then it starts by everybody being busy. And there's nothing that can pull couples apart than being busy. Nigerians don't understand what couple time is. And I will be sincere, I did not as well. The marriage that we have, our fathers had at home. Mama, they house, they cook food. Papa come back from work. Oton. There was
Mm-hmm.
nothing like maybe, oh, it is let us have this weekend to ourselves, send the kids to the grandma in Koribe. Maybe the newly married ones now will incorporate that into their relationship. That's a different thing. But you're saddled with work. You are saddled with life in Nigeria is hard. But you come out here and you now see times two of what you have at home, in the sense that you now want to make something out of wherever you find yourself in. But this time around, there is no grandma and there's no grandpa to help out. And that crack starts, becoming a little bit wider. Now you start finding faults. Now there are more chores to be done. It's an intentional thing to say, you know what? Okay, this is where we are now. We have nobody but ourselves to rely on. We have to make this work. But a lot of
Hmm.
times, the individual parties don't have the patience. And a lot of time, the man can feel free to go anywhere. The woman, until only after a few years, will understand that, okay, you know what? Me too, I feel waka. But she comes back with that mentality of, I'm a Nigerian wife. I have to work. I have to cook. I have to take care of the kids. I have to do all that. And after a while, she gets tired. So that crack starts when the extra change, which is the change of a new environment, new culture, and let's be honest, there is culture shock from anywhere you go to, whether it is big or small, there's always some form of culture shock. And when there is nothing to absorb that shock, which is the friendliness and the likeness of each other, it begins to get into the marriage. That's what I think it is.
Hmm. Interesting. As you were talking, I remember a few years back, maybe I want to say maybe like 4 years now or 5 years thereabout. I have a friend who was moving. They were moving to the US with her family, right? So she was asking me,
Mm,
what it's like and stuff like that. I remember telling her, I was like, the only advice I have, because she was asking for, opinions or whatever. I said,
mm,
make sure your marriage is solid, right? Because
mhm,
I see the pressure of marriages on even people who live here. I'm not even talking about those and came here. So I
mhm,
remember telling her, make sure your marriage is solid, though, as in, because the pressure in
mm,
the States is very different from the pressure you have back home. Pressure you have back
mhm,
home, you can work on it and resolve it if you really want to. Your pressure is less. When you get here, you have to put right. You have to
mhm.
go to work. Maybe you and your spouse, you have different work hours. Maybe one works in the morning and the other one works at night time. The chances
Yeah.
of it, of the distance creeping in between you, and if you're not intentional, can cause havoc. Can wreak havoc on your marriage. I remember saying that to her, right?
Mhm,
When she
mhm,
moved here, she probably didn't quite understand what I was saying until she moved
mm.
here. When she moved here, she
Yeah.
started understanding because back home, she used to make dinner, she used to make breakfast, the typical Niger thing. And
Mhm,
her husband didn't know how to do anything, doesn't know anything about the kitchen. It now started
mm,
taking a toll on her. So she started complaining. So I now reminded her about the conversation we had prior to her move. And I
mhm.
told her, you probably need to have a conversation with your husband. I said, because you don't want this to escalate further. But I'm seeing it, like on social media now, and because we have social media, that's why I hear these things. But I saw like three different videos on TikTok, and I saw like two on YouTube. And somebody just posted, I think it was K Baba. I don't know who's Tolu Lokpe, Tolupe Solution, Abi. Tolu.
Tolu Solutions.
Yeah,
I
who's that?
see her. I don't know who she is, but I see her. I see the feed sometimes as a suggestion for me to look into it. I've never watched it, so I don't really know what it's all about. But I do see something about Tolu Solutions.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think she's married, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I think she's married.
Okay. I may have come across her video with, because I don't know person. I probably don't remember. It's probably, maybe I've seen her video. I don't know, but he brought it up
Mm.
and I was wondering. But I'm like, what is going on?
Hmm.
Because it speaks. That means if that's the case, that speaks volumes about the way people get married back home. Also, so it seems like there are those who marry with good intentions and are very genuine about being married
Hmm.
in Nigeria, but I don't know why you're moving or relocating, because it's for the benefit of the family. I will assume, if anything, you should make the marriage even, you know uh as it get
Better.
exactly. You see what
Mm.
I mean? So it's
Yeah.
it's kind of, in my head, it's kind of confusing for me to hear that. So this is why I'm asking this question. Mirabelle, welcome, darling. Good to have you on here. I've missed
Thank
you.
you. Thank
I've
you.
missed everyone.
I know I was thinking about you and I said, oh, it's been a while. Oh my yeah, I hope she's good. I was gonna send you an email. It's like,
Oh.
but then hey, here we are.
Mirabel, say you don't think of me. Hey, they go hear my voice today.
I'm like,
Oh, I be
you
once
know
I
what?
talk small, they
See
go
it.
hear my. Make I shake my shekere.
Amaye
They
needs
don't
to
think of me.
Amaye needs to give you my emails. Like give me your email so that you know what I'm not thinking of you too much because I don't have a means to reach out to you. So it
Oh,
preserves
okay. I
for
go
self
forgive you too.
preservation. I don't want to think about you too much because I don't know what to do about it. But
Ah,
if
so
if I have your
We
email,
are just speak English.
it's gonna be easier.
Hey.
but yeah, you guys are asking who Tolu Lopez Solution is. She's a
Yeah.
YouTuber. I think she used to live in Nigeria and then she moved to I don't know if it's Canada she moved to.
Yeah, K
Um
Baba says she
I think
relocated to Canada. Thank you, K.
she's also married to her husband is the son, I think, of this lady, this very popular Nigerian pastor. I forgot what her name is, but she's like one of the most popular female pastors.
Who's
Um
that? Popular, I'm thinking, popular Nigerian
she's
female
female.
pastor.
Yeah, like one of
Is
the
it,
really popular ones.
Is it
does
Funke
it?
Adejumo?
Yeah, I think so. So
Oh,
that's her mom in law. Her husband is that's her husband's mom.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay,
So
okay.
So is
anyways,
her marriage broken? I
I
mean,
don't know.
Mm,
I don't really watch. I've
mm.
oh,
not even
okay.
seen her videos since she moved. I've seen a few of her videos when she was in Nigeria, but I haven't watched her videos since she moved. And I don't watch her videos all the time. If I've seen maybe like two or three while she was in Nigeria, so I don't know much about what's going on with her. Um,
Mm,
so back to what we were talking about.
Right.
mm,
BB kind of brought out certain things that I just completely agree with, and I just want to expand on it. You know, as bad or as difficult as as challenging as we sometimes say Nigerian marriages are, they have their advantages. They have so many advantages, and you both hinted on it a bit where you talk about so in Nigeria you have strong solid support system
Right.
mm,
when it comes to it takes the burden off of the two people when
Mm-hmm.
you have family, you have your friends, you have your husband, sister, or whatever, your own family, your cousin, those people visit a lot of the time. Sometimes you have them live at home. Sometimes you're even able to employ domestic staffs. So this take a lot of the domestic chore off of you. And as much as we say that, the women do everything there, typically at home as a married woman, you're not really doing everything. It might be a responsibility, maybe, but you have a lot of people to outsource all of this to. So now this takes away the burden, or most of the burden that you would
Mm-hmm.
have when it comes to domestic chores. This takes away a lot of the burden. And when you're not burdened, first of all, the husband is throwing all the burden on you domestically. Now, when you're not burdened because you can outsource, because you have your support system that helps out, it relieves, some of the problems that you ordinarily would have. And also, what your support system does for those people being married back home is that when you're not cool with your partner, because you always, a lot of the times, you love your partner, but sometimes you don't like them. Um, so when you're not cool with this husband or this wife at the moment, you have your sister that you're talking to. You have
Mm.
your mom that's somewhere down the street, that you're going to your mom's house. You have somebody, your cousin's house that you're going for a few days, or you have a family member visiting. So it takes away from, it helps relieves the two of you, even the man himself. If he's not cool with you, he has his friends where they can come over and they could all hang out, or he has his brother, his cousin, or his mom or whatever. They
Mm-hmm.
could go to those people. So that relieves the two of you of the burden of actually dealing with the other person's shenanigans, or the other person being pissed off, because they can share they can share their unhappiness, and they could have all of this other people in their lives that could make them happier, or could
Right.
help them feel better about whatever situation they're dealing with. Now that takes that burden off. So, back to out here in the United States or abroad, or wherever people go to. And I agree with BB when it comes to friendship. But then again, when you relocate, I think it exposes um the challenges that you have. But being
Mm.
in Nigeria was able to band-aid it, if you may. But when you're out here, you don't have those support system to help with, like we're talking about, to help with stuff, to help with chores, to help with all of
Right.
those things when you need to get stuff done. It's just the two of you for the most part. So you both get so stressed out. You're stressing him out, he's stressing you out, and it's just the two of you that have to deal with all of those things. And sometimes someone gets burnt out, and someone gets fed up, and someone gets done. And even if you have some support, it's not as effective, it's not as much as you would ordinarily in Nigeria. So it's harder to outsource. Even if you would want to have someone, you want to hire someone for domestic duties, they're a lot more expensive, so you might not be able to afford it. So it just leaves the two of you with the burden of doing everything yourself, and that could, take a toll on somebody, and that would definitely cause cracks in the relationship. Also, when one of you are annoyed with the other person, you still just have yourself. And that is good and it's bad, but I'm gonna talk about the bad. Now, like we are talking about in Nigeria, where if you're pissed off with somebody, you can go to your mom's house, you can go hang out with your family. You have a family member visiting, you could just talk about it and just chill, and not even necessarily talk about it. If you want to, you could, but if not, just the presence of somebody else in your life that you love and care for is gonna
Mm-hmm.
help relieve you of that annoyance, and vice versa, even with your partner. But when it's here, a lot of the times you don't have that, because your support system tend to also be the people that help you emotionally sometimes, as well as physically with stuff that you need to do. Now, when you have children in the midst, you need your village, right?
Mm.
In
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, you have your village.
Mm-hmm.
You have grandparents, you have other people that can come take the kids, that can watch the children, you have other people that they can go to holidays at, you have other people that they could go visit, you have free babysitters, you have free nannies, you have all of this.
Mm.
Out here you don't have much of that village. And that could also put a strain on the relationship because one partner will feel overburdened. One partner will
True.
feel like it's not the responsibility of parenting, it's not even, and it's not balanced. And
Mm-hmm.
that could create some resentment. And sometimes too, even if the two partners are doing their best, it still might be a lot challenging for them. Bibi was talking about, creating time or making time for just the two of you. That's very important, but it might be a lot more difficult when you don't have your
Mm-hmm.
village.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
also brings you down to nannies and babysitters, which are financially challenging if you don't have the means to. So that's also an extra burden that could put it could take a toll on your relationship, and it could put a strain in your marriages. And for people that have just been married here, that's all they've ever known. They don't know
Right.
any
Mm-hmm.
different. So they couldn't, like I always say, pain don't hurt if it's all you've ever known. That's all you've ever known. So you can't
Mm.
compare it to, your village or your support system. It's just all you've ever known. And also remember, for people that, a lot of people that have been married here all their life, they predominantly have more support system than someone that relocated,
Mm.
because a lot of those people have their roots here. A lot of them have
Right.
their families here, and
Mm-hmm.
even if culturally, Nigeria is a very what is it called, um collective society, where
Uh-huh.
you have extended families and everyone is part of the relationship. And now
Mm-hmm.
here it's
Mm-hmm.
mostly nuclear. But even with
Mm-hmm.
that nuclear system in place,
Mm-hmm.
for those that have been married here all their lives, chances are they still have more of a support system than someone that just relocates. Those that have been here a lot of the time, they have their parents, they have their siblings sometimes. They could be in all the states and all the cities, but they have a little more of a support system than someone that just relocated. And like we're saying again, that's all they've ever known, being able to just figure it out by themselves, that you and your spouse figure it out. You and your spouse
Mm-hmm.
figure childcare. You and your spouse figure how to, mend your differences. You don't have the elders and your association of family members to help you fix your problems. You have to fix it yourself, or you go your separate ways. And the most you could have interfere, or the most sense you could have from an outside perspective into your relationship, is that of a therapist. um, and if you both are okay with that, then you do go to a marriage counselor or therapist. And if not, then you both have to figure it out yourself. And if you cannot resolve it, then you deserve it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but you have the luxury, if you make, for lack of a better word, you have the luxury of just already coming from a society where that's the norm, you know, where you just both figure it out. You both figure it out, both parenting, you both figure out domestic chores, you both figure out life and all that. Where Whereas your counterparts, or the others that have relocated, they've experienced a different kind of society, and how that could affect or influence their marriage. Now they have to adjust to a new kind of society, and that,
Mm.
from just the little I have mentioned, can
Right.
be heavily impactful on your marriage. And like Bibi was saying, the parties have to be really intentional and deliberate about, making it work, for it to work. And in this society, even with the intentionalities and being so deliberate, it encourages you to walk away if it's that difficult. It encourages you to just go your separate ways.
That's
Mm.
true.
Basically, it's very encouraging. um you don't have, like we said, family members to sit the two of you down and be like, oh no, for better, for worse, and all of that. It just takes just the two of you. And when you turn to the left, you see that someone else already worked for something seemingly infinitesimal compared to what you're going through. So I think those are like a few of why a lot of people's relationship deserve when they come out here.
Wow. Wow, I can literally shut this down after this because you kind of, no, seriously, you broke it all the way down, because those are, oh, thank you so much, Vic. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate that. You kind of just made it bare. You broke it all the way down because as someone looking in, you know you only have what you have is what you see, right? And
Mhm.
what maybe you hear. You don't know the
Mhm.
nitty gritty of it.
Mhm.
So for me, that I don't pass judgments. It's just something that I see and I'm concerned, like, why is this happening? Is it that people are not putting in, as in my mind, I'm like, are they not putting in the effort? Is just a move from one location to another enough to pressure? But I didn't even think about all these very salient points that you just brought out, which is very, very realistic, and it's true. Because back
And
home, you have domestic staff, you have nanny, you have, for those who can afford it. Even when you can't afford
mhm.
it, you have relatives from the
Mhm.
village, like 16 go your show for your house if you born or move go. you you probably won't you probably won't even see it.
16.
Yes, now
The whole
they'll
village go
just,
just move. They go
the
say,
whole
ah,
village
I
go.
don't born. Oh
You
yeah, let's go. That's how
Yeah,
it be
because
happening.
the village, remember, for village, when they hear say woman just born, where I come from,
Ah.
you go see all the women go paint their face white. They go put white powder. They go say that they celebrate new birth for the family. Like, you see
Mm-hmm.
many women will just put white, they'll put white chalk for face, they go they dance. I'm telling you, it's a huge celebration for them. So now,
Mm-hmm.
if those people are around you, they are giving you all optimum support. The one wey go pound yam for you, wey go cook special soup when they make for
Mm-hmm.
woman wey just born, that one go
Mm.
dey. The one wey go press your stomach go dey. These are things that I observed though. So
I'm
you really
aware.
go ahead.
And what you're saying just reminds me, even of my own personal experience. If you look at statistics, most people here end up with postpartum depression,
Mm,
postpartum anxiety, and a
mm.
lot of Nigerian moms do not have the same. It's the statistics of people there that have postpartum depression and anxiety when they have a baby. It's a lot less, and we can argue that a lot of them are not being diagnosed, but even at that is a lot less. And I think one of the major reason is because of what you're saying, is the support. When you have a baby in Nigeria, you still get to sleep.
Oh my God.
You still get to sleep. You get in a fatting room, from what I've seen.
Mm.
You get cooked meals. You get eating. Everyone is at your beck and call. Everyone is at your service. You know, and yes, as much as you're still gonna be a mom, a lot of your duties are delegated. People give you back, right? You get a move, and
Yes, Omugwo. They will
someone is
press
even.
your stomach, they'll
Yep,
give you
someone is
baths.
baiting
You
you
don't
and
even get
pressing
into
you
the
and making you
kitchen.
feel better,
Mm-mm.
You
and
don't
someone
even
else is
cook. You
baiting your
do not cook.
baby. You're not
Mm-hmm.
cooking, you're not doing none
Yes,
of that,
Mm-hmm.
and your husband will just be enjoying a mugo because he'll be eating whatever they're making for
I'm
you too.
telling you.
And you guys will be good, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone is just so happy. Even a stranger is willing to help and take care of you and the baby when you have the baby.
Absolutely.
So that helps you recover. That
Mm.
helps relieves, and that helps, you know, annihilate any what is it called, any form or symptom, even if you're prone to it, even if it's in your DNA, even if depression is in your DNA. Honestly, by the time you get all of this support, you have, because a lot of the postpartum depression and anxiety comes from stress, comes from the challenges you go through being a mom, and of course it also come from your disposition to, as a
Hmm.
person. But all of those factors in, and you wonder why a lot of the moms back in Nigeria don't go through the depression and the anxiety. Now here
Right.
is a whole nother ball game. Even if you have families here, even if you have families here, it's still different. Your parents are probably working. They cannot take months off. Even you as a mom, all you get is 6 weeks. Your parents probably live in different states. They're working.
Mm-hmm.
They might
Mm-hmm.
not be able to take the days off and the weeks off and do all the omogo for you. Now, this is the best case scenario. What about those
Mm-hmm.
that don't even have their parents and relatives there? First of all, even if
Mm-hmm.
you have a few other people that would care to want to help you, because you don't have that level of closeness to them, you're hesitant to even accept a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
help. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you have people that want to help you, they might not even help you in the way you need to be helped. Those people might
Mm-hmm.
not know how to cook no pepper soup. So they're helping you, they're cooking chicken noodle soup for you. And that's what you're eating. Okay? And they're helping you
Mirabel,
make some
Mirabel,
ginger
before
tea.
you continue, Mirabel, let me chip in something there. Let me give
Mhm,
you my own type little
Oh
experience of
my
mhm,
God.
when I had my daughter. Lots of the friends I had all wanted to help. Oh, Abby, what should we do? What should everybody just really wanted to help, and I was like, eh. Emi kono, they get all these people who want to shower me with love. Now, like, then person can say, no, let's bring you meals. Let's at least give you the first 2 weeks. Let's just bring meals. First day, then bring McDonald's. Another day, person bring lasagna. Another day, they just they bring it. I just they sit down, they look the thing. For my mind, I say, what I want carry all this food into? Nothing here, hungry me chop.
that's what we're saying. You
Nothing
know.
hungry me chop. I look my husband, I say, bros, I beg enter kitchen. Help me cook pepper soup and yam.
Okay. You see, that's what we're saying. And
My
you
husband
at
say,
least you
this
have your
pepper soup and
husband.
yam.
Okay, to cook pepper
Exactly.
soup and yam. The
Eh,
people that
eh,
their husbands are not Nigerians or don't know how to cook
what do
pepper
they
soup and
have
yam.
to do exactly?
In my case, there's no pepper soup and yam because he's not Nigerian. So I'm not getting no pepper soup and yam. My mom was supposed to be there. COVID messed it up for her. She couldn't come. So I literally just the thought that my mom was not coming broke me because my mom always came even for all the family members that were not her kids, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That broke me. COVID just messed all of that up. But even like I said, like you're saying, there are people that are in your life, family, friends, all the people, you know, people that you have adopted into your life or have adopted you as family, whatever,
Mm.
they all willing to help, but sometimes not, they cannot. They can only give what they have, right? If they cannot cook pepper soup and yam and uda, then they can't make that. They're gonna go get you pizza. No, for real, right?
No, it's
They'll
true.
get you
It's true.
pizza. They'll
But you
bring you
know, but you
cakes.
know what? You know what, Mirabelle? Even
Uh-huh.
before we get to that point, even before the kids come, marriage itself is work.
Oh,
Even
sure.
before we get to the point of having kids or anything,
Uh-huh.
marriage itself is work. And I
Uh-huh.
think I think um, people have sort of flagged that so low,
Uh-huh.
because what the world projects as marriage is fancy clothes, a big destination wedding, what I'm going to wear, a glamorous photo shoot, big loud wedding, to have everybody coming over, this huge engagement ring that sometimes the man is using 3 4 years to pay for. So nobody is emphasizing that. When what do we want, even the couple themselves, what do we want to do with this marriage when we get in?
Well,
What's our priority going to be?
they
Can we have a can we
fixated
Yeah,
on
can
the
we have
wedding.
are we going to have a hobby? How are we going to raise our kids? What do we plan on, if they're going to be kids? Or do we intend, are we going to better our individual selves to become better persons from where we are? Are we going to plan towards buying a house in 3 years? Or are we going to stay in the rented room for like the first 10 years and then buy a land and build our own house? People don't sit down and cost out, the quality of the marriage in terms of the work itself. Because first 2 years in marriage, I don't care how friendly you were, it's always a deal breaker. 2 years to 5 years, because you're discovering yourself. You are finding out. I mean, even if you were living with yourselves before the marriage, which I don't subscribe to. But when you now come into it, the first 2 to 5 years, there's so many things to learn and unlearn. There's so many things the man will say, this is how my mommy used to do it. Hello, bros, I am not your mommy. This is how my daddy used to do it. Well, you didn't marry your daddy, did you? I am now the man here. So there's so many little things that people don't sit down and now think about and be like, okay, we have dusted all the dancing and all the kicking and all the honeymooning. Let us now face this. People
Vivi,
have happy. People have gone past. They don't even get into that now, and so they get
Vivi,
into that marriage. Yes, yes, dear.
just what you were even saying, how, you have to plan, oh, are we going to leave this and how many years, like all of this in-depth planning. And you just talked about the first 2 to 5 years of trouble. It's like, it's difficult. That also, that even the planning, even if the two people sit down and talk about how in-depth they want to plan and all of this thing, by the time they go into that marriage, that first 2 to 5 years it's still hell, because a lot of the times someone might have sat down and have planned with your partner, but they don't understand the gravity of this plan. They
Mm,
might not understand the sacrifices involved. You guys might not understand the partner. Sometimes after this plan is done, even for those best case scenarios, for those that have it planned out, they say things don't always go the way we plan, right? People going and then they realize that people are getting to know themselves in a marriage. People are getting to know more about themselves. People are replanning. People are, taking back on their words. People are saying, oh, that what we plan, well, that's not how I really want it, or that's not how it's gonna work from what I see. And the plans sometimes don't even materialize to your reality, because like you said again, you're still getting to know each other. Yes,
mm-hmm.
our word yes should mean yes. But a lot of the times when people yes don't mean yes. And even if your yes mean yes, you're faced with sometimes situation that challenges the yesness of your yes. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
And
That's
then
true.
or you find out that all of those plans are falling apart. And when one plan falls apart, it trickles down to the next plan. And it's you it just continues becoming what you have stated. The first 2 to 5 years is challenging. So even for those that have it all planned out, for those that have it all figured out, it still poses a challenge as to there's the difference between planning and facilitating. Because when it's
True.
time to
True.
facilitate, there are other external circumstances that might affect it, which you ordinarily would not even know. It's not in your consciousness until it becomes your reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I
yeah.
hear you. I hear you. But I still coming back to what Omoye brought up, that does the move
Mhm.
affect the relationship. I want to say it does. No matter how good you are, how good the relationship is, no matter how close both the couple is, it does put a strain because it's a new environment, it's a new lifestyle, it's a new everything for both people. They will first of all have to take the time to settle in well, and in the time the process of settling in, you are not necessarily isolating yourself from the world. You're still going out to work. You're looking for things to do. You're trying to acclimatize to the weather and everything. So all of that now puts together, you have to be intentional about, look, we're going to make this work. Come hell or high water, we are going to make this work. And I told a friend one time, I said, look, if you're thinking of coming out here, you either come out and see how it is and think if you can handle it, or you don't have children. Come here first with your partner, see how things are before you decide to start having kids. Because when you come with kids, it's extra difficult because now, apart from all the mental stress that comes with moving, you have to deal with finances. And to take care of pikin for obodo yibo, no be my mind. It's not chicken change. You no get the money, wahala dey. You go, they begin to the find person, the dead person will go help you look with him. So if you go work, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap. So yes, coming out here as a married couple does put a strain on marriage. Can it be can the strain be less? Yes. Can the strain pull the marriage apart? Absolutely. But when the couple is intentional of making it work, there is always a way out to make it work.
Wow.
Pleasant.
I don't go school today. Oh, I bet to print my certificate for me. The knowledge when I don't gather today. I'm not sure say PhD people never get them. Because you
Then
people should do me
Kumaget.
a certificate. Yeah, like what's there's nothing else to talk about now. The matter don't resolve itself. Because no, seriously, from an outsider looking in, I go say, wetin dey that you people cannot work out? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? What's up now? You
Mm.
people should not do like this now. But boom, there's so many things that come with this that I didn't even think about. First, Nigeria is a
Mm.
simpler society. May God let that country work, I beg. If just listening
Whoa.
to all of you,
Mm.
hey,
Oh,
God,
but
I
you say
beg.
we don't get natural disaster for our country. I don't know
None,
why we don't
none.
get any natural
Now,
disaster for
human
every state.
disaster we get, human
Ah,
disaster.
to your law.
Hey, Ọlọ́run
Mm.
ọba òjò
All
ṣàánú
our
wa.
problems is man-made. Man-made.
Hey,
And
I'm
you know
telling.
also too that even with what we're saying, when people come here, we hear a lot of the time they say a woman come here and run or even a husband in run. Person come here, they just left. A lot of the
Right.
times too when people come here and they were married and then they come and continue the marriage here, they the new environment, the new culture, the new everything brings out a part of themselves that they don't even realize exist. Um
True.
and that happens to each of the couple. And then you
Hmm.
there's just because we're ever evolving, we always get to know ourselves more. We're multifaceted as human beings. So
Mm-hmm.
you being put in a different situation, environment, literally it's experimental. You put them, if you change the environment and the conditions, then that organism becomes more, or there's more part of them that comes out based on the new environment. So that's to say that when those people married as a couple, they already know themselves to the extent that they do. Now, when they come over to somewhere new, the culture is different, the environment is different, the people around them are different, how things are
Mm-hmm.
done are different, marriage structure is different, everything is different. So now all of
Mm-hmm.
this brings out different aspects of you as an individual that you never knew about before coming, and it brings that part out of the man, it brings that part out of the woman. Now whatever part of it brings out, you guys now have to start figuring out this new part about each other. So it's almost like, yes, you were friends and whatever, and as close as you may be, it's almost like you're now learning more about this person that you thought you've known for 10 years, and they're also learning more about themselves. So you can't even mad at them because they did not know that part of themselves, and now you're
Mm-hmm.
brought in the situation that is bringing up other parts of yourself that was dormant until you're put in this situation. And this different parts of each other might be something that challenges your relationship even more, because a
Very
woman might
true.
not know that, oh, she wants to stand up and speak her mind and say, oh no, I don't like this, this is not okay. Or now she's working a lot more, now she has to also work and she never used to work there. And that's bringing up a part of herself that she's saying, okay, I cannot be doing all of this, I have to, she's becoming more assertive, she's becoming whatever it is. And then for the man too, is bringing up different parts of himself too, where I don't want to go too much in details because it could be anything. But I'm just trying to say that this new
Right.
environment, help, it also evolves you as an individual, and then your partner have to learn this new version of you, and it might clash, and it might also be the contributing factor of why people go their separate ways.
Hmm. Mirabel. Biko, let's round of applause for Mirabe. I beg. Mona
Yes,
for comment
so
section. I beg
let me use my shekere.
Mona
Let me
show
use my
love to
shekere.
Mirabe. She came and she conquered today. Hey, Mirabe, I've been schooled. Honestly, all these moving parts that you just talked about, I honestly did not even think about it, didn't even cross my mind. But of course not. I'm not in it. I don't know how it works, right? So I can
Mm,
only look at from the outside, from an outsider looking in and just passing my own very flimsy judgments and saying, come on, guys, do better. Like it's that easy. But you're so right. Why? Because I can totally relate with the fact that when I moved to the States, it changed. There's a lot of growth that has taken place, right?
yep.
The version of me that you're experiencing right now is not the version that you would have met 5 years ago or even 2 years ago. Because in this
Mm-hmm.
society, you're consistently evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Experiences will force you to evolve. The things around you, what you're affected by, will force you to evolve and to look at better ways. You're going to start having, you have a mindset of being able to resolve situations or have solutions about certain scenarios that you probably never thought about before, and you start to see yourself in a different way, for the good though, for the good, for those of us that is all about good, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I totally can understand what Mirabel just said. So I can definitely see how that can impact a marriage, because two people come, one person is probably evolving in a direction that the other person is not comfortable with or is
Mm-hmm.
strange to them. And then based on that, they react, right? Oh my God. My goodness, Mirabel, you know what? We can close this now. Mirabel, don't finish
You
work.
don't
Oh.
finish.
Mm, nothing
You
left
don't
to
finish
say.
work.
Nothing, nothing left to say. Honestly, nothing left to say because she totally nailed it. My goodness,
Mm.
I didn't think about all of
But you
this.
know another thing on my ear is, I'm sorry to say this, a lot of Africans are not truthful.
This is
A,
true.
l- a
This is
lot
true.
of Africans are not
This is
truthful.
true. I agree
So
with you.
they project this love in Tokyo attitude. Everything is wonderfully going well, and it's not. Um, I listened to an old. I'm trying to recap most of the shows I've missed with Auntie B, and I listened to something to one of the shows she did one time, and I think it was Ola and her. They were talking about some one Orisha Femi something, and how the marriage wasn't working. And whilst they were talking, about bringing out the ills in different individuals and what you take and what you can, one very nice guy called in and said that, people that are in failed marriages should learn to speak up.
Mm,
Because when you speak up, whatever girl that is going to come after you to get into that relationship with that man that you're no longer with will be aware of what she's getting into. But when
mm,
these women that are going out of relationships or are not in the relationship anymore don't say anything, the next lady comes, gets with that guy, and the same situation happens again. And everybody is wondering what is going on. Why is he changing women after women after women? Well, if the first lady had said, hey, this is not as good as it looks, this is what this is all about. You guys know what you're getting yourself into, that would be, so liberating for everybody. You wouldn't just jump into anything. But the Nigerian society, the women do not say anything home and abroad. Everybody must be like, "Meme, zip
mm,
it up." You don't say anything. And it is gradually damaging because there's the Soroseki generation right now is if they paying you for hand, make you short talk say they paying you for hand. If they paying you for leg, make you talk say, don't be quiet about it and think that somebody will become one mind reader and be able to come and dissect what is inside your mind and talk your story for you. It shouldn't be like that. And so Nigerians that are not sincere with themselves, they just keep quiet. They will say, at least they come house, but you are going through a lot by yourself and dealing with it alone, and it's not helping. Then you go waka comot, and then when you come waka comot, I say the man was terrible. The man was waiting happen so that another person no go enter inside the same place,
Exactly.
come suffer with me suffer. I mean, I think that's how it should be. I really think that's how it should be.
You're right, Bibi.
We should
You're
learn to be
absolutely
sincere with myself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Because if we told each other the truth, we'll probably avoid a lot of accidents that happen in relationships. There will be no reason why maybe you were with somebody and that person, man or woman, had treated you horribly, right? And you see somebody else that's getting with this person and you don't call them out, you don't let them know or share the information so that people are forewarned. But no, say secrecy is our first name in our culture. They'll say, don't say, just keep quiet and don't let people know what's going on. Is that from me? Is that me, guys?
I started hearing it, but I don't know if it's you or me or BB. I'm gonna get out and maybe it might be me. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, it stopped. Are you okay?
Hello? Amoy, are you okay? Can you hear her?
I hear BB, but I don't hear Omaya.
I don't hear Amoy too.
It's probably her.
So maybe it's her internet going in and out. Reading the comment that is top notch just put here that she agrees and says that she heard a situation 2 weeks ago and it traumatized her about the facade that was maintained for years. Exactly. Our people do that, and it's apart from it being a bad example, you know, for our younger ones, it's actually not even healthy for the people in the in the whole relationship itself. Why do we do that to ourselves? And we come out, and then again we come out and we don't even give support. We are quiet and hush hush about it, and somebody else gets into it and gets into problems as well. It's really, really, it's really scary, for lack of better word. It's really, really scary. Uh-oh. Mirabelle, can you hear? Oh my end went out.
Yeah. BB, I can hear you, but I can't hear Omaya.
No, I lost her as well. But her show is still.
Hmm.
So I think marriage is. I think marriage, and the sad part of it is marriage is also having problems at home. Lots of people are just. I hear there's so much divorce going on in Nigeria, and I'm thinking, when did we become a society of divorce, for heaven's sake? Eh? And it's not as if the divorce is even cheap. When did we become that? That everybody is now singing divorce everywhere, everywhere, everywhere in Nigeria. It's really sad. It's really,
I
really
think
sad.
I think with the prevalence of the divorce, it could also be people in quotation being woke, right? So people deciding, oh, I'm not going to put up with what my parents put up with, my mom put up, my dad put up. I'm not gonna do, and people overcompensating, even when they could resolve the problems and the challenges. People are overcompensating. They're trying to catch up on, you know, doing it right and not putting up with stuff where they're overcompensating. And it's now becoming a marathon of divorce, basically, where like, oh no, we're not putting up with this, this is,
Mhm,
I'm not going to deal with this. And I think that might be why we're having that much, divorces in
What's
Nigeria.
going on?
People just, being so woke, and people are overcompensating, and people are not. And like we talked about in our previous conversations, a lot of the new marriages are people, are children of, you know, broken homes, are children that experienced, their parents in abusive marriages, of children that were are children that experience all of this coming up from
Hmm.
households and situations where they saw what their mom went through or their dad went through,
And they think it's normal,
and they,
and they go
yeah,
into relationship thinking it's normal.
yeah, and
You,
some of them too, they put up a defense where they say, what, I will not deal with anything my mom deals with or dealt with, and they have not healed, because a lot of all of those people in new marriages were product of failed family homes, or product of homes where the mom and the dad just stayed there even when it was really dysfunctional, and they
mm,
grow up becoming adults with all of those issues that they have not dealt with. And a lot of
true.
the times, some set of people, they think it's normal and they put up with things. Why a lot of the people just say, you know what, I will not deal with anything. So when they see something that looks a little like what their mom went through, they
Hmm.
wanna, they
They
wanna
just
be
walk out.
out.
True,
Yep, and they
true.
wanna overcompensate and
Hmm.
do what their mom could not do.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
a lot of the
I agree
times,
with you.
and even the
Yeah,
man in this, the man, because it takes the two people, the man and the woman. The men are also product of, dysfunctional homes. So
true,
they
true.
they
I
become.
think
Mhm.
what we should now start projecting and telling people is it's marriage is not a deal breaker. You don't have to be married to be successful. You don't have to be married to be fulfilled. Don't get into it because somebody tells you is the norm, or you're at the age, or that it's expected of you, or you're the first in the line, you're the next in line to carry the generation and the family name. I think that's what we should start letting people appreciate, because this attitude of, I mean, I'm speaking from Nigeria now. You come out of school and you work a little bit, and the next thing, even whilst you're doing your NYSC, you're thinking of getting married. For heaven's sake, you come out of NYSC. It is hard to be stabilized, except your father is Dangote. And if your father is Dangote, you won't even be in Nigeria. It is hard to stabilize. But you see them, and then when they now want to get into the marriage, you're not even, you want to do it. They're saying a poor man and they spend money fast. You want to do it and close the road to your loan, they. I think we should start, singing that song that look, there is so much to life before marriage.
Baby, you're
Discover,
right. But
discover yourself. Get
but
to
see,
know who you are as a person before you invite somebody else into your space.
you're very right. Like you're saying, discover and get to also heal from, get to, have a introspect where you think back about childhood and what you might have absorbed, and think about, because discovering yourself has a lot also to do with healing from whatever traumas you might even be facing that you probably don't even know, whatever
Mm-hmm.
baggage you're carrying, whatever, childhood trauma, difficulties you've experienced from being in your household. Because if you don't heal from that, you're carrying it into something else. But then again, that's the bigger problem. It's easier for someone here to heal and discover themselves than it would be for someone in Nigeria to heal and discover themselves, because after your father's house, you talked about NYSC. You go to NYSC. See, marriage is the next it's like post graduation program, because after your father's house you go to NYSC. They say it's husband's house, right? So you're from one man's house to another man's house. If you go to
Mm.
NYSC, you have to be looking for another house to go to. And typically a lot of people don't live by themselves as
Mm.
young adults before marriage. So they are
No, they
now
don't. They
looking for
don't
the
even
next.
encourage you to.
Yeah, so you're looking for the next place to go to. It's a necessity where you don't have the luxury. Discovering yourself is supposed to be a necessity. It's supposed to be, but it's almost a luxury because you have to be in your own space. You also have to be able to provide for yourself, even to discover yourself. Now, after NYSC, your family members and all your village people are reminding you, okay, you go bring the boy or the man or the uncle, whatever. You go bring and come introduce to us. Your parents are telling you why you left for NYSC. Your room has already been given away to your younger cousin that's staying there. So where are you coming to discover? Where are you coming back to discover yourself at?
Well,
So
where
now
is your
you're
space? You don't
thinking,
even have one. You're so
now
right.
you're
You're
thinking,
so right.
as I go this NYS, even if I never marry, ma catch one bobo, so that when
Oh
I go
yeah.
back home from the
In fact,
NYSC, my house
when,
becomes a holding cell for me until the bobo proposes and I now move to husband house. You see
my
what I'm
sister, when
saying?
you go back house, your sisters go carry eye take look you like say, what are you coming back here for?
Good.
No
And you
be
have
ever
younger
you go to. Don't,
siblings.
you don't
When
suppose
you
pass there, they
guys
go your husband house.
Good. And then when you guys have a fight, they'll say, see
Your
you. All
mate.
your mates don't marry, finish. Come here, come they find trouble. Come here, come they drag food. That becomes the curse. That becomes the newest insult for you. And so
Honestly.
even your mom or your dad, they're becoming more irritated by you, especially
Mhm.
your moms. I don't even think
In fact,
dads are that.
your mom would look at you and say, "See, I don't tell you all these insults. You know, forget them. Just go find man one."
Okay.
Yeah.
Your mom is telling you when I was your age, I'd already born all of my children finish. You know? So So, where are
And
you
you know what?
discovering
It's so
yourself at?
true. It's so
So
true.
there's no self discovery. It's that's why I said it's beautiful. That's how it should be. But if we're gonna if we're going to be realistic about the society, it's hard for people to discover themselves as young adults because you're doing everything. You're literally going by the motion. Okay, middle school, elementary school, whatever, middle school, high school, you write jam fail, jam you. That's how they say, right? You write
Jam
NECO, you
jam.
write WAEC, you write all these things, and then so you've never really sat down to introspect. You've just always been going through the motion, and
Miracle
then
man,
you
so you go
finally
live with
get
me. Only you are
admission. You go
introspect.
to
Which
school,
introspect is the
right?
introspect? Hmm.
That's what we're saying.
You,
You go to school, then you go and do NYSC. You work it out. Oh, they post you to North. You say, I know, now South, I won't go. You work it out. You go, and then you do NYSC, my sister. At the end of NYSC, the reality start dawning on you like, what's the next day? Remember, after elementary school is middle school and high school and college and NYSC and husband house. It's just the trajectory. So at the end of NYSC, you have to have catch one bubble, hold one bubble down, so that by the time you go home, you're not going back home. You're going to your holding cell. You're
Whoa.
going somewhere where you're going to be temporarily at, so that you can pack the rest of your load, so that when and get ready for the man that will carry you and put you in husband house. Now that's a problem right there.
Wow, that is deep. My God. Mirabel, you break all the windows, remove the
go. What see they
shelf,
talk? In fact, we
scatter
don't come
the
out. We don't
table,
open garage. We don't bring
remove
out
the
everything we
carpet,
take for the garage.
dismantle the ground, scatter the ground, dig the sand out, get water from inside, deep,
We
deep
don't
down
dey
the
lay.
ground.
We dey lay foundation
I'm
for new
telling
house.
you. Hey, no, no, Mirabel, na true. Mirabel, they talk. I just my memories. I just dey live in memories as they talk. I say, my goodness, yeah, paripa. It's so true.
It's so
It is
true. Oh my,
true,
see,
though.
I remember when I finished my girlfriends and I when we were in school. We dey plan say we go take 1 year. We want rent place for Lagos Island. Make we for take together day together. We want to enjoy ourselves and everything. When I reach house, my mama look me. Oh yeah, welcome. Oh. I get wedding next week. They know they tell you say make you go marry. They just dey remind you say they get person wedding where they want go. So you go remind yourself, you yourself go remind yourself, say, okay, since she dey go wedding, that means say one day make person follow come your own wedding. I get wedding next week, oh, another 2 weeks, another wedding go dey. Already your antenna don stand say, now wow, this person wedding, that person wedding. my friend they married, my cousin they married. All of those things go just your body go just start. Meanwhile, you never get work. Oh. You never even say you want wash the leg of the NYS come out. You just dey enter house. They know they carry eyes they let look you. Man, dear Nigeria, mm, go better, sha.
Mira, they don't scatter table today, not be
Go
so.
better.
Yeah,
Mm.
when we just close the show, waiting remain again. Hey, Uju, welcome, oh sis. Good to see you here. Long time, longest time. Eh? Everything that Mirabel said is so true. Pressure from when you were, some people from secondary school now they start to. From
Mm-hmm.
secondary school, they know already the oya oya wey the bobo oya when you want marry by this time. I remember now when I think I just got literally just got into class one. My grandmother came visiting. She now said, where are you? In my language. I said, where are you? What class are you in? I told her. She said, you're just going to school, going to school. When are you going to marry? In class one, my people. My grandmother was already, I'm telling you, he say, any mere diabu by this time, me bill can phone now. I don't born my children complete. I don't forget say that they born. I'm telling you. He said because there are people coming, that they are looking for wives. So I'm wondering whether you are now old enough to be married out. Because my parents are now said, no, I beg. He never reach. Do you understand? Because that was my grandmother's reality. But some people, that was their parents' reality. So for them, that was the normal, that's the movement for their daughters. As you are leaving secondary school, I know somebody, I have a friend who married at GS3. GSS3, the girl don't marry. By SS3, correct? The girl don't born her first pikin. Like,
Wow.
no joke. Yeah. I know people like that, literally. So what you're saying is so true. Because that's why after some time, you come they find out the people go, they say, oh, they never really experience. I've heard it before. I didn't know it was a real, and when you hear things as a child, you really don't know or understand what they're talking about. You can't make sense of it, right? You hear some women say, I no kuku enjoy the marriage. There was nothing in there to enjoy. I was just living. Maybe the man passes away because the man is much older than they are because they married very young. They don't know what it feels like. When you say certain things, they don't understand. When they say, man, na him go, a man they carry you komot or the man go carry you go market. Back then now, men will take their wives to the market to go and shop. Some women go say, your own good, or your husband they carry you go market. Me na boss I dey take or transport. Those kind of things. Now I think about it, I'm like, oh my God. No wonder a lot of people were not happy in their marriages. I'm
Oh
just
no, they were
wondering,
not.
oh
They were
my
not. Oh
God.
my, yeah, they were not. I had a friend that we were in. Oh, I go can't give my age now. Well, see what?
Now,
Well, I had a friend.
you feel give estimate, not give your age, give
No,
estimate.
no, no, not the age. I had a friend. As we take finish, her own. They not already paid the bride price. They not already finished everything. Now just pack load. We finished our exams. A week later, she was moved to her husband's house.
So
Mm-mm.
They're not even ask her say you don't ready. Abi, waiting you want do you want go school. Abi, you want go learn sewing. Abi, which trade you want. They're not even ask her anything. They don't ask her make she go. Say her husband I go. Now she her husband I get her now. Her husband go do everything. The fortunate thing was she grew to like the guy because the guy this we're talking about. I think it was like 15 years age difference. But the guy didn't look that old. So she grew to like the guy. And as far as I know, they're still married till today. But you can imagine that kind of trauma. You don't even have a choice. Even if you say you want to leave, where do you go to?
there was one girl I went to law school with. She was my roommate in law school, right? This girl was she was married. She was married when she was in GS1. right? Her husband, she's Muslim, so her husband was much older than her. She was telling us how she got married. Then she was saying that the man came to talk to her dad, and she got married. But fortunately for her, I think the man is a very decent man. The man actually put her through school, and all of that. She talk about how the man takes care of her. Even if by the time she was in law school, she already had 4 kids. So
Mm,
while she was in law school, the man was literally taking care of those kids by himself. So the only time he will come maybe like during the weekend to come and check up on her with the kids. That's it. I'm telling you, I used to wonder, my God, I would just dey look the woman for my mind. I was saying, for me, I say, wetin this girl sabi? I mean, by that time, and then even the way she used to do things in the room then, you know, some person
yeah.
may never develop. She was so awkward on so many things that she does, and people noticed it. But we didn't really now they register for my head now after listening to you and Mirabel just break everything down. Now it makes sense to me. See, that was why this girl was like this. She was so awkward on a lot of things. Women they
Mm-mm.
suffer. Then my next word I
People they
want be
suffer,
man
oh,
no.
women they suffer, and the sad
I
part of
beg.
it is it's not different now. It's still not different.
It's
It's
not
still that
so
it's still
even with
that
all the
mindset that
wokeness
they have
and
at home.
all of that. I just laugh. With all the wokeness and all, it's still a man's world. Let's not get it twisted, man.
Mm,
With all the
mm.
wokeness, it's still a man. It has not changed. It has unfortunately because a lot of men are just so comfortable with the way things are. I mean, if things are working out in your favor, would you really
No,
want
but
it to change?
exactly,
You won't
it
want
pays
to.
them.
You won't
But
want
I
it
mean,
to
you know
change.
what is more sad as well, Omoye? You would have thought that because they it was awkward in their situation with their own partners, that they would not want their daughters to experience the same thing. But it's totally different. And you would have thought that the women themselves that went into such an uncomfortable, an early transition would look at their little girls and be like, I remember when this happened to me. And I don't want my daughter to go through this. You will think that would register and they would kind of think and plan differently for their daughters. Like Koyato. They still want to, it's still the same path. Ah, you go marry you, eh? And I keep asking myself, why? Why do we have to do that? Eh? The marriage now, I beg, who they marry, then they collect gold. Now which
They
gold?
dey
Because
collect gold o. Some
I
people
me
na
still they wait for the gold. I never see oh.
they say that they collect gold na so I hear o.
It becomes an instance of the abused becoming the abuser. You know, the
Yeah,
women have gone through that, and then they become the ones putting their daughters through it. And if we're honest to
yeah.
ourselves, like it's mostly the moms that are putting this pressure on their
You are
daughters.
right. It is the
Most
moms.
people, most
Hmm.
stories I've heard is mostly the moms. The fathers
Mm-hmm.
don't really, say
Put
anything
that
or maybe
pressure. They
don't.
don't. They don't.
It's the
They don't.
women.
Fathers, in my experience, so father, all the friends I know, including my dad never one day said, oh yeah, come on. Like, never. It was because my mom was not saying, this girl has not brought man since. So my dad will not, let it not be as though he did not see anything. He will not
Mm-hmm.
call
Up.
me secretly
Mhm.
and say, it's because we love you. We want the best for you. He will not first preach before he will not say what's on his mind. I will not say,
We,
Daddy,
until we got married, my dad never ever brought it up and say, "Oh, so do you know anybody you like?" My dad never mentioned it, never said anything in that
mm,
line, anything at all, nothing. And even if I did not go to school in Nigeria to, go through that progression of, oh, after school you do this, after this one you marry, because I didn't do none of that, I didn't go to college there, so I didn't have that progression. But even at that, a Nigerian woman will always be a Nigerian woman. My mom will still
Mm-hmm.
call me sometimes and be like, "Oh, Mimi, huh? Any brother, anybody that you like, I'm like, "Mommy, I'll tell you.
But
Don't
you know
worry, not
what?
yet." Mom,
In their defense, Mirabel, in their defense, I think what they try to protect is the reproductive system, because let's face it, the African parents that is encouraging you to marry is not asking you to go there and you know do it. stage show. Now to go born pikin. You marry after 6 months. Oh yeah, here's the baby. In fact, that is if them like you will be that too. Because sometimes like after 1 month, oh yeah, 9 months don't they reach you. So I think women are doing that to kind of protect their kids. Like, look, and they do that because of what their own perception of marriage is, which
And
was
you
a
know what
lot
else?
like, let me,
Deep.
when you get into the house, you solidify your place by having children. So I want you to get in there and I want you to have kids. First
Well,
and
how's
foremost,
that
let's get it.
working
Let's
out
get it.
though?
But
Well,
Eh?
actually,
well, how's that working out? I mean, if you put,
Oh,
we have
it's
to,
not.
we have exactly, we have to understand that, everybody come with their head, right? Come this world with their head, meaning
Hmm.
everybody has a mission here, right? So maybe that person that you're forcing, maybe not be waiting the creator for them to come do. So you already subjugate everything about that person. You go redirect the person destiny or life as it were, right? Just to you go reprogram them
Oh my God,
only
you they
through
look that one, no. The
and
mama
you
know they
but
look
it's
that
true
one.
though.
sometimes to even the moms that are even, asking you, sometimes then they're also being pressured to ask you. So like in my mom's case, she'll be like, oh, my legs are hurting, my legs are me, my legs, oh, my legs are hurting me. Oh, I cannot wait to carry my grandchildren. Oh, my sister was the one that would even tell me, because she didn't even say it to me. She would tell my son, my legs are hurting. I can't wait to carry my grandchildren. And she would talk about one of our family friends that are already grandparents. Like, look at this person. She has how many grandchildren? Can't wait to carry mine. I said, Mom, carry yours now. Carry it. You know, so that's so that's basically how she would say it actually. She was like, I
Hmm.
can't wait on my legs. Let me carry my grandchildren before I die. So what are you talking about? You're not
Where are
dying
you going
anyway.
to?
Stop with the and
Drama,
so for
It's called
drama.
them,
emotional
they feel
blackmail. It's
they feel
emotional blackmail.
pressured because a lot of our folks or friends or people their age and people we grew up with as kids and family friends, some of the people their age, some of them have grandkids, right? Some of their children already got married and have grandkids, so they just feel like, me, I should be in the grandma's league too. And honestly, maybe even I think dads and moms talk about it, but moms are the ones that bring it out to the children. Because I don't think fathers are as innocent as we think they are.
No,
You
they are
know,
not.
I
They
think they be
pressurize the
talking
mommies in the
about it with their
bedroom.
wives, like, oh, have
Hmm.
you asked her anything? Have you, have
They
you
get the
talked?
mom to do the dirty job for them, to be like
Yeah,
the bad guy.
yeah, honestly. Because I think with them asking the children directly, it might seem a lot more awkward, but they will hint it to their wives when they go to bed and sleep, right? And their wives will bring it up the
Bad
next day. Oh, my
guy.
children. Yeah, I think that's what happens.
But I think, oh my, let's go back to that topic that you talked about. You know what you brought up, that some Nigerian marriages breaking up into overseas.
Right.
I think another thing is, and I had kind of hinted on this before. I think generally people's um, empathy is waning off. A lot of people don't seem to have
Hmm.
empathy these days for for the next human being. It's like, if you're not related to me by blood, or if you're not adding substance to me, I don't really care about you.
Right.
Not coming out to say that, because when you think about it, if you come out here as a couple, what brought you out here in the first place is maybe progress, to do better in your life as a couple, to build a family. Why would you allow pressure to now tarnish that, or to make it go sideways? You will build empathy for each other, but a lot of people don't have empathy anymore. A lot of spouses, it's like little thing just ignites you. The little thing just makes you like, I can't take it. What happens to people saying, you know what, I'm willing to try. let's try this out. The first thing you hear is, divorce is always an option. When did we get to that society? Now for you, then they do that one. I mean, we come out here now. We don't have, okay, boy's family coming to talk to the girl or girl's family coming to talk to the boy, because you're in a neutral space, and it's like, so you now have to build empathy for yourself to be, "Oh, I can absorb this shock coming, and we will try to make it work." We don't have that anymore amongst the Nigerian families. So sad, because everybody is money, 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 money. And by the time you make that money, you find out that you have pulled away from each other in so many directions, but you're still bearing Mr. and Mrs. in the house. So the house is just standing there looking fanciful, but the home you wanted to build is, you didn't even lay a foundation for it, because everybody was chasing something, and lack of empathy had to do with it. If you empathize, you really have feeling, and you really want it to work, it will work even if you go to the moon together, because you got into it for a purpose. But we don't have that. A lot of our African families coming out here do not have that. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. I am pained by it. Really sad.
Yeah, I think that you actually make a very great point, Didi. I think that's one of the major things that I see happening. There's people don't have empathy for one another, no patience with one another anymore. Everybody seems to be trying to secure the bag. I don't understand this whole idea about securing the bag. Please bear with me here. Personally, right, I'm not a materialistic person. That doesn't mean that I don't like the fine things and the good things of life, and I don't like to enjoy myself. But I'm not going to give up for instance, my sanity, my peace of mind, just because I'm trying to secure the bag. This whole idea about securing the bag, everybody's trying to secure the bag. It's almost like people have thrown away nature by itself, because the truth is you cannot get there without the creator putting things in place. And there are certain things you need to learn along the way. So when you eventually, if that is what you want for you, secure that bag, you will have enough sense and understand why he's giving you that bag, and why you are the one that is the custodian of that bag. But everybody is running ahead of their themselves. They're not even paying attention to anyone around them. They don't have a time to even stop and say, "Oh, by the way, can I help you with this?" Or "Can I do this for you?" Or "How are you doing today?" Nobody has, everybody, they don't throw away empathy, no, they exist for dictionary again. It be like say e don vanish. Make una check am for me. Maybe e no dey. I no understand. Because the way people are running all over the place now, trying to do things are supposed to living life and caring for the next person. Caring for the next person does not mean you do what they did not send you. Caring for the next person is as simple as checking on your next door neighbor and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And when I say
Mm.
your next door neighbor, I'm not mean the one where they live next to you. Maybe not be
Mm-hmm.
crazy person, no go knock for a door. Maybe no go hear what you don't want to hear. I'm talking about the person when you come across on a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis. Hi, a smile. Hi, how are you doing? Or maybe a colleague
Mm-hmm.
or something. But no, everybody's in a hurry. Secure the bag. Motivational speakers. You know how to be ready by 30. You know what famous people do to get to. Who cares? The
So
world is bombarded with all of that, and it's so unnecessary.
we keep
Please, I
like
only have one
ladies, we
question. No, I
keep
beg. I
talking.
beg. I get one question.
Go
Which bag?
ahead, though.
Na Fendi bag, abi na Gucci bag? Which bag dem dey secure? Because me sef wan follow secure the bag.
Na, na
Ejo,
polythene bag.
na which na Prada, abi na which
Polythene
abi
bag.
na the leather wey the Hausa man dey follow so wey we bin dey carry those days go school. Na
Na
that kind bag dem dey secure. Abeg,
polythene
me sef I
bag.
wan follow secure the bag. Abi na the
It's
nylon bag wey we dey take
polythene
buy
bag.
suya. The one wey we dey take buy
Yeah.
suya for island na we dey take secure. Because abeg, more na show me road o. Me sef,
I don't know,
They're
my
oga,
sister.
They are securing polythene bag. You see how we keep
okay.
talking about empathy and empathy, but sometimes we need to even realize that empathy is a quality that is so scarce. Not a lot of people have
Honestly,
empathy. Not a lot of people can even empathize. Some people, they are naturally empaths. They
yeah.
just some people have to cultivate empathy. Empathy is hard. It's a lot harder to come by. It's harder to see. A lot of the time when we see people, you think they're empaths or they have empathy, but it's not true. A lot of us do not have empathy. It's something we just don't have it. What the majority of people have is sympathy, and that is so different from empathy. Che, I feel bad. Che, see this poor person they suffer. You could sympathize. You could feel bad for their situation. You could just like pity them. There's a part in your heart that suffers when you see them. So majority of people, what we have, a lot of us, is sympathy. Not a lot of people have empathy. If
Hmm.
we have empathy, a lot of our problems will be few. An empath is different from someone that sympathizes, because an empath puts themselves in your situation even when they have not experienced it in reality. They internalize what you're going through and they feel the pain as though they are going through it themselves. A
That is
lot of
me.
people
Oh.
do not
I
have
need
the
prayers, bro.
ability to
Abeg,
have that.
una no tell me which class we dey enter now because
In fact,
I
Mirabel,
don finish the first class. Na the second one be this, abi na the third one. More na help
no,
me tell me because
na
I dey
200
take
level we
notes.
do enter. So, no, ma tell you, ma break am down. First one was 100 level, now na 200
Okay,
level.
okay,
Mirabel
hey, okay, okay,
just
okay.
describe it.
Hey.
I
And
dey carry the pain of if person dey suffer, right? If somebody, everything I when I'm like verbalizing something, right, that hurts me about something or someone that's suffering, I literally carry the pain. That's a problem, guys. I need to pray because, to be honest, sometimes it's a burden because you can literally feel the pain. Like when
it's
somebody
it's
loses
yeah,
someone and
yeah.
I'm there, I can literally feel the
It,
grief of the
it
person.
it is a burden. It is a burden, especially when you can't do anything to help them. Some,
Exactly.
you just all you feel is that pain, and you wish you can do something, you cannot. Now, someone that sympathizes does not have that burden. It's quick. Oh, I see this person. Oh, I too bad. Oh, poor thing. And you sympathize. You feel bad. You have feelings. You have emotion. You sympathize. But empathy is a different level of it. And like that's why we're saying that a lot of people don't even have the ability to. A lot of people are born with that ability, and a lot of people it takes conscious effort to cultivate empathy. You gotta cultivate it. And
I'm already
even
dey take notes.
Hi,
Na me always
ladies.
don dey finish my data
And this
before we dey
time is
Can I?
bad. Didi, can you mute first? Didi, mute your phone first. Mirabel, is that you? Okay, I think it's Mirabel. Okay, no, it's not Mirabel. Okay, Mirabel.
can,
Oh,
can you
Jude, we'll come to you. Welcome. Let Mirabel just quickly finish her
yeah,
thought.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just finish and so it's even in a marriage, if people a lot of people, if your partner has empathy for you, that solves half of your problems, because when someone empathizes, you would not have to explain so much. You will not have to repeat yourself over and over. They will put themselves in your situation. They will live, they will experience your experience and feel your emotions and feel your pain where you don't have to say a word. And when somebody can have that and can be present in your predicament or feel everything you're feeling, then they'll do whatever it takes to be there for you, to assist you, and vice versa. And then when you put that's why I completely agree with Bibi when she talks about empathy lacking in marriages. Because when you both can empathize, and the fact that you love someone does not necessarily mean that you can empathize with them. You could
Mm-hmm.
sympathize with them, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But it takes a lot of it's very deliberate. It takes a lot of, you cultivating it. You have to love them on a different level to have empathy for them. And then when you do have that, it solves half of your problems.
Hmm.
It makes it easier for you all to
Right.
keep your eyes on the prize. It makes it easier for you to stick to the goal, because
Right.
you empathize with one another. So you don't need a mediator to come and tell you what this person is experiencing, how you don't get it and how you don't understand it, because you empathize. You already feel it. So no one needs to
Hmm.
tell you anything, not even that person. That's why we need to realize that empathy is so difficult. It's one of the most difficult qualities for people to have. And the majority of people do not have that. So we always say empathy, but it's not as casual as we say it. What we see is sympathy. Empathy
Hmm.
is rare.
Oh,
Oh
Mirabella
yeah, I
taking
beg
us
na
to two.
300 level be this. I been at the 400
We
level. Which one we dey do now?
don't reach the 400, the final year na we dey abeg, because
Okay.
Mirabella
Now
don
final
finish
year with
school.
this. So.
I have received a course today on, hey Salubwa. I glad o say this one dey recorded. Welcome o brother Jude. How many wetin you get to add for this ogbonge matter before I come to Bernie's question?
Na real ogbonge matter. Hello,
Hmm.
ladies. It's like this a ladies' square.
Not necessarily. I mean, we're just talking as
So,
usual.
how are you? How's everybody? Yeah,
Everybody's good. Thank you.
that's nice. Yeah, I've been listening for the past 15 minutes or so. Just to add to what Mirabel have said, another simpler way of looking, differentiating between empathy and sympathy. Empathy usually goes with action. Um, you oftentimes someone seeing a situation that for somebody else going through or something, usually goes with such words as this: is there anything I can do to help? What can I do to help alleviate this pain? So those are the words of empathy. But sympathy will only empathize with you, will only sympathize with you and then walks away. um, Another way you can look at it very well was when Jesus was with his disciples, and when they were preaching, and then his Bible says he saw the people uh, were very hungry. He didn't want to send them away. He had empathy with them, and then he initiated action to solve that problem. So on the other hand, empathy always goes with an action to help alleviate whatever the situation is. And that is what really many are lacking, you know, like Mirabel have said. Yeah, so that's another easy way, simpler way of looking at it. Empathy goes with action to alleviate the the unpleasant situation that another person is going through, or whatever situation. But sympathy, it's just like you can look at it from another way of that story of a man that got attacked by the robbers on the way, and some people came by. I mean, in the Bible, some people came by and passed and look at him and say, "Oh my God, look at this man! He was attacked. He's injured," and they left. But the man that actually had sympathy was the one that got down, took the man, take him to a place where treated him, paid for his medical bill. That is what empathy does. So, for I hear you guys saying about men, not that they are equally guilty of pressurizing their female daughters to get married. But I'm not here to defend men anyway. But at the same time, it's okay that we don't live here with a half-baked truth. I want to say that oftentimes men don't even care. Not that they don't care, but that they don't give any of their female daughters pressure. Don't pressurize them. Neither do they send their wives. I think mothers most of the time they get that pressure from their peers, especially when they attend the weddings, when they attend the maybe in my place they call it omugo ikubuta nwa or something like that. Maybe their their daughter got married and had children. Everybody's coming to um, celebrate the newborn child. And so that's where some parents pick up those things. So when they come home, they'll begin to feel bad. Hey, this my daughter is still there. He has not been able to get married, or not to talk about giving me a grandchild. So when they come home, or hear things like that, or attend such programs, they begin to put undue pressure to their daughters to get married. Men don't really have chance to do that. They don't have chance. I remember some of my one of my um, nieces that didn't get married early. I even find it very awkward to even talk about it with her. But then at the same time, I always pray for her. My little corner, that God should, answer her. And the same thing too. I remember when my sisters were growing. I've never seen my father one day tell my sister, "Oh, listen, you are getting old. You need to know." But oftentimes you see women do that, mothers do that, and when they do it, it's not men that send them.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Jude. So we're not putting any blame on the man. We're just saying Mirabel started off by saying that mothers are the ones who pressure. The pressure is real more with the mothers. If you really like to, maybe if you didn't listen to that part, if you
No, I
rewind,
listened to that, but at the end
yeah,
of the
but
day,
she didn't.
they,
She
they
didn't.
ended up
She
by saying that
didn't
men are equally guilty.
Oh God, please let me just break it down. She didn't make it look like the men were at fault. She only made a
I
comment stating that the women put the pressure on their daughters, which is something that we all could relate to.
identified.
But some fathers, when they're in the bedroom with the dad and the mothers, to show some concern too, because some fathers do care. They'll say, come, when are you going to talk to your daughter? And I've seen it happen. And I've seen it even in movies as well. They'll say, when are you going to tell your daughter? She's getting old, oh. Tell her she should bring somebody home. I've heard it. So that does not
Yes, it
mean,
does. It does
wait
happen, but not
now.
so often.
Yeah, that's what she meant also. She did not stigmatize the men. So you heard the men and you just jumped on the life. We're not doing war of gender here. Oh. I
Yeah,
beg
I'm not
you.
here to defend men. I'm only
There
set
go.
this,
We know they do
set
gender
this
warfare
right,
here.
set this straight.
And you
Okay.
already set it right now. I'm trying to also clarify and drive it home. There were men here on this live that started this show with us. There was
And
never
then,
an instance where she just put the entire blame on the men.
okay, let
She in
me.
fact called out the
Anyway,
women more. She in fact called out the women more and then said sometimes perhaps the dads, oh, of course, there's some dads who show concern and they'll say, "Hey, your daughter is getting older. When is she going to get married? When are you going to talk to her? Talk to her." We've seen this before now. So wow, there's no
And
one
Amoye,
okay,
any.
um,
Amoye,
Yeah.
Moye,
Amoye,
So,
let me finish
Mr.
my thought. Let me
Mr.
finish.
no,
Let
so
me
let me
finish this.
address that comment, Judah Beg. Let me address that comment.
Mr. Jude. So yeah, I was even going to say, when you say equally, I never even agree that men are equally guilty. I don't. It's never equal. It's, and we all agree that it was mostly moms that,
Yeah,
but then
someone
I'm
said men
saying,
are
I'm even
also
saying that
not
yes,
innocent as it seems.
dad, your dad has
That was
never
the exact
asked,
quote.
but
Please,
we cannot
I got
also
you,
say
I
in
beg.
the entirety that when dad and mom are in their bedroom laying down, that dad has not asked mom, oh, have she told you about anybody? Not even necessarily saying, or when is she going to get married? Dad
Yeah,
could
but
be
that is a
asking mom,
genuine concern. It's a
have
good concern. It's
have
a
our
good.
daughter told you of anybody, that she's
Yeah, but
talking
that is
to?
not bad.
Because dad understands that the daughter will most likely talk to mom about it versus him. So
That's
sometimes
right.
he would ask mom if she's aware of anything. Now, that does
That's
not
right.
necessarily mean that he feels that pressure or he wants it. Clearly, we know that it's mostly moms. Mommy want to go to a mongo. Mommy, women are the ones more obsessed with grandchildren and all of that. Of course, daddy is going to be happy about it, but fathers are usually not in the forefront of it. Now, does that mean that they're not concerned? Does that mean that they've never asked their wives the same way they've never asked some of your daughters? Like I would say, my dad never asked me, but because I can say for myself, but I cannot say if he has never asked my mom because I'm not my mom. You see that? So I agree with everything you're saying, but you also need to realize that I was not ever saying that men were equally guilty or men are always asking or pressurizing their wives. I was just saying that it's also possible that dad has shown some concern sometimes to mom. And that
Hmm.
doesn't mean that he's the
Well,
one making mom do what she does. Mom already has her own full force. She does not even need to have husband's help. She got this. And that's the case for most moms. But I'm also saying that some dads, even if they haven't asked or said anything to their child, it's also possible that they might have hinted it to their wives.
well, Mirabel, like I said, I am not here to defend men. It's not. We're not. What would it? It's not an argument or something. I'm only saying that even the women too, even mothers who does that. Let us remember that there are many stages of human development. At that stage of those of many of mothers, that is part of their developmental stages that they care. Those are the things they care about at that stage of their lives. Men too have things also they care about at that stage, at the same stage of their lives. That is part of
Mhm.
development. So we should not crucify mothers when they do that. They're only feeling concerned. Okay, this should have happened. So just kind of playing the devil's advocate, we should also, you know, give our parents, our mothers a pass. I mean, they are not, they are doing what I feel at that stage of their life with regard to their developmental stages, what they're supposed to do or say. Although some mothers, go beyond and, begin to, um, you know,
And I agree with you. For
add
moms
on
like
impression. Yeah.
Alma Ye's moms, my moms, and other moms, that it's not, they did not torment their child, or they did not, they just, we just hinted and we just
Again,
playfully talk about. They get passes, but your moms that literally start persecuting their children, start
mm,
like the movies we watch. I believe there are things that happen like that in reality, but for moms that, make it a point of duty to, you know, to persecute their daughters and make them feel less of a, a child, or make them feel less of themselves because they haven't brought someone home, then yeah, I'm gonna crucify those. But for moms that just hinted, man, I'm ready for my grandchild. Oh, I went to this wedding. Of course, they
in
all
fact,
want
I
that.
want to
And
say,
I
all of
understand their sentiments too, nothing wrong with that.
I wish in the next 10 years, some of us that are discussing this thing now, some of the ladies, I wish in the next 10 years or 20 years that we could come forward again and see whether we would be able to do the
I
same
can be honest
thing
and
now.
tell you in the next 10 years,
Whether we,
10 years,
whether
I
we
would
can
ask
we
in
can
the
still
next
say the same
20
thing we're
years.
saying now.
Oh no, I can be honest. I'm fine. I can be honest and say in the next 20 years, I'll ask my daughter, oh, are you talking to anybody? Is this anything serious? Because I care and I want to know about that aspect of her life. Of course I will. Ain't
I
nothing
mean,
wrong with that.
your picking not reach to marry.
No, I they talk the next 20 years now. I didn't know even reach to marry. But even when you reach to marry, Like I don't even have to wait to the next 20 years. It's gonna be a constant conversation between me and my
Right.
child. I want her to be honest and open to me. And if
Exactly.
when she gets to that stage of being
You
married,
don't have
I
to
would
wait.
still ask. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be honest. I don't need to wait for the next 20 years to
No,
know
you
that.
don't have
I know
to.
that I will. And I will, so that's fine. And I don't even think it was that serious with us
It wasn't
specifically
that serious. I
moms.
don't know where Oga Jude is coming from. And thank you, another man in the comment section. Thank you, Oga Femi Bash. Oga, you have overplugged this abeg. You hear him, Oga Jude? So you take him like military something. Not be military. We're just here having a conversation about the realities that women face, the pressures. It wasn't that serious. And more so, we're talking about, the marriages from Nigeria. Some couples are having trouble when they move, if they relocate. So I was asking a question, is it the move that caused the breakdown, and we're able to break it down. Thank you so much, Mirabel. My God, I've gotten a graduation certificate from
Okay, yes,
your
okay.
lecture
You
today.
don't graduate, abi? You don't take your graduation
I
picture.
don't collect certificate. I
Oh,
didn't
okay, okay, okay,
do
okay, okay. I will
anything.
hear
Guys,
it
but
now.
I think Olga, what's his name, Mr. Jude. I think his examples were, oh my God, you killed it when he gave the example of Jesus and the example of the Good Samaritan, like just illustrating empathy. That was just he killed it. I just couldn't wait to say great job. I really do appreciate those examples you gave because
Thank
he
you, my sister.
articulated it properly. Because like even the Bible said Jesus was moved with pity. It didn't say Jesus had pity. If he had pity, that's sympathy. He was moved with pity to go, kill those people and make, get them out of this situation. And that's what empathy does. And like his whole explanation of it, I just wanted to bring it up and say I appreciate his examples and how he talks about it.
For the Christians in the house,
Thank you,
absolutely.
my dear.
Yeah, so moving along. Yeah, Mirabel broke, man. Mirabel destroyed the table today. In fact, Mirabel, now you will go dedicate this live show to, honestly. Dedicated specially to our professor emeritus, Abi, what is it they talk am? Professor emeritus fellowship, Abi, they talk fellowship.
Oh
I
no!
mean,
Oh
Nigerians, now
no!
this one I
Oh
like title
no!
well, well. How do you want me to address you, Mirabel?
Oh no! Oh my yeah! No more! No more!
Doctor
You're
Emeritus Fellowship.
overflogging this. You're overflogging this Mirabelle name. Like, just can we just move on?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she don't
Now
want you
you
to
be
make it
telling
So,
me
so
difficult.
it's
the
not
word.
it's not only you that is
You don't get
overflogging.
making she
Oh, my
talk
too is
now.
overflogging. Okay,
Yeah, Omaya is
good.
beginning to overflog.
No, no, no.
You
In fact,
know,
Omoye,
she's
let's
the one
oh,
overflogging.
hey. Wait.
Oh my God.
Excuse me. And I no understand wetin Mirabel talk. One I know they decode. He tell you say as she don't reach that professor emeritus, make you know they call the name anyhow. You go put
Oh
place there.
no,
Oh,
BB.
okay.
Oh
Sorry.
boy.
Mirabel, sorry. I know. My offense. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I
You
do
go
like this,
put
like this.
doctor, professor, before you go call the name Mirabel.
My bad, Mirabel. My bad.
Oh
My
boy.
bad. It have do.
Okay.
Miss Notch, yes, so Mirabel is shouting on our head. Yeah, say it have do. Ah, yeah.
No, but I think it's a very, very necessary and very discuss because we are gradually watching our society and our people fall apart in the name of bagging, looking for the Prada and the Fendi and the Louis Vuitton bag. We dey do ourselves.
So, Mirabel, you are a blessing CEO. You are your own blessing CEO. Let me not finish the matter. Another blessing.
I cannot
Welcome, my
relate.
sister Uju. So nice to have you. Long time. Uju, how have you been? Happy
L-
New Month.
We go to
Long
them.
time, my sister.
I'll
Longest
I'll
time.
see you ladies in the comment section.
Okay,
Honorable Mirabel,
thank
my
you
darling.
very
Thank
much.
you
Bye,
so
Mirabel.
much.
Mirabel,
Thank
I will
you.
send the details to Omoye, Abi.
Thank you.
Please, Omoye,
Okay.
Yes.
Just
Professor, yes.
email BB. That's all I can say. Bye.
All right,
I'll see
all
you in
right,
the
guys.
comments.
All right, see you. See you. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mirabel. Yeah, so Sister Oju, this Ogbonge matter, I beg. You say you I beg, come and tell us. Because me they learn. You know, sir, they here now, they learn. Learner here. So
Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah. So yes, so I have a good example. It just happened a few days ago. My
Uh-huh.
dear I've been so busy. That's why I haven't been coming online and live stream and all that. But God is good.
Oh, yeah.
God is
Good.
all good. I thank God. So the example that happened, this person is actually, I know this person, and I know what she has been going through. And I saw her at work and she hurt herself at work.
Uh-oh, what happened? Sister Oju, can't hear you. Her audio, maybe.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So this person, I know her, very active, very, but she has gone through a lot. She went through divorce a few years back, and it happened that a friend of hers just did one thing on her and snatched her out. Well, a man cannot be snatched. Friend of hers got married to her husband. That really broke her, And I saw her. She broke her ankle at work, and when I saw how helpless she was looking, everything she's been going through just flooded through me. She didn't see me. I started crying, you know, because you know why I was crying? Her kids are all
Hmm.
grown. She's the only person
Hmm.
in that house. And you know how
Wow.
lonely it is.
Yeah.
Now, with the broken ankle, how is she going to cope? And she was in pain. When we ended work, so we were walking out together. She's like, I said, where did you park? She said, oh, I parked up there. I'm like, okay, I parked here. I said, you know what? Your ankle hurts a lot. She said, I know, but I can. I said, no, don't manage. Just stay here. Stay here. I'm going to get my car. I'll pick you up and I'll take you to where you parked your car. All right. So I did.
Ewo. Audio connection. Let's give her a minute. Maybe she'll. Uh-oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I was shaking in my car. I was praying. I said, God, I know this. She's not able to say what she's going through, but I was feeling her pain. I know how, with her hurting ankle, she goes to that lonely home by herself. Her kids don't even live in the same city. You know, I was thinking, who is going to help?
Wow. Oh, wow. Sister Oju, your audio, your connection.
You? I don't know what is going on with my audio, my network this time around.
But we can
Okay.
hear you now.
Okay, so I think is in where I'm staying. Yes, so I felt so bad. All I could do was pray for her. I thought about her throughout the day. When I saw her the next day, I'm like, hey, how are you doing? She will not talk. That's one thing with women. Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm like, you're at work again. She's like, yes. How do you feel? She's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I said, no problem. In my heart, I say, I'll have to really call her and sit down and talk with her, to see where she needs help, what I can do to help. People go through a lot. And because of the way, can you guys still hear me?
Clearly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because of the way, people expect you to act when they tell
Uh-oh. 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 Like my little niece. Uh-oh. Hmm? This your internet. We're coming to flog it for you, Sister Oju. We'll come and flog the
Oh
internet.
my
Yeah,
God. So it's still
yeah,
bad?
yeah.
Oh,
It's back. You're back now.
oh my God. I don't know what oh, I'm so sorry about this. And
Okay.
because of what the churches have told us, because okay, you have to confess positively all the time. You see people dying and you ask
Hmm.
them, how are you feeling? I am fine, because they believe they are making positive confession. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
People are not able to tell
Mm,
you exactly how they feel.
yeah.
Now, what is the internet still bad?
Yes. No, no, it's working now. We can hear you. Okay, now we can't. Oh boy. Oh my God, I understand what she's saying. You know how somebody will be feeling unwell, like maybe they have a cold or something, especially in Nigeria. And you ask them, how are you doing? You go say, I'm strong. Meanwhile, the cold is finishing the person. Hey, now wow.
So
Eh?
what when I feel that somebody is not okay, I'll ask them the question again. Tell me, how are you?
Mm,
That's when some of them will break down and tell you exactly what they're going through. You see?
mm, yeah.
So, guys, I don't want to keep you guys long because my internet, I don't know what is going on with my internet tonight.
Yeah,
But
no,
thank
thank
you.
you for
You
that
guys are doing.
example. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So good to hear your voice again, Sister Oju. Love you. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much. So can we say empathy is a gift? Oh, Femi, your question. Do you think couples should keep separate bank accounts?
Yes.
Your pastor said joint account, but I disagree. It depends. So it depends on what works for
Works for
people.
both of you. Yes. That's
Yeah,
what I
it
told her.
depends. Yeah, it depends. To be honest, I personally, I don't know. It's hard to until I get married now. Now I go know whether that one will work for me. Joint
Mm-hmm.
account or separate. So it's kind of. I can't. If I speak now, of
Yeah.
course I'm gonna say I want to have my own account, which
Yeah.
I really would want to. Even though we have a joint account, I believe in having a rainy day money on the side because you just never know, right? Life can throw things at you. So I don't know, but if you ask me now, you understand, I would say, keep your money. I keep my money. But if we have something to do together, we can put it together. But then again, when you get together with someone, you can both decide what works for you, what will work for you that will make you people both your juices flow for each other. That's what matters at the end of the day. Some people is doing joint account. You don't have to do what pastor say you should do because pastor is not you. You are not
Yeah.
pastor.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, Auntie Bibi. Yes, yes, please.
Um, Accounts. See, this life, all of us come individually. Oh.
Exactly. Now, so me self reason
Except
am.
you be twins. Even if you be twins, one person and come out first before the second person come out. And I think, like they say, respect begets respect. My
But
mama they talk say, make you no go, make you no circle your friend house too much. Maybe I no foresee you finish.
yes, familiarity breeds content. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, and I think it goes all the way. A certain extent of individuality should be maintained even though you are married.
Me too. I believe that. Very much
Because
so.
because if you don't, I have seen it in many cases, people have problems. No
Yeah.
matter how much you love the man or you love the woman, you still need quiet space to understand yourself so as to know how to communicate well together. and
Right.
and you can't do that. You can't do that by constantly getting into that person's face. Now if you maintain a family account, for expenditures and everything, that's fine. But I think the woman needs to have something of her own, and the man needs to have something of her own, even if the woman is not working.
Right.
Even if the woman is not working, because that man will learn to appreciate that this is my wife's account. Even if na kobo she dey put for that account, even if na savings account, make she forget her own. What does that do? It gives her own individuality. If she has daughters, it teaches those her daughters individuality as well.
Right.
That you need to be your own person. But you can also have the joint thing together if the money plenty like that. Or you have a community purse, a family purse. Okay, everybody puts expenses here. This is the expenditure for the house. Let's take from that and do what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, how do you separate the person? How does she stand on her own?
Right.
I think it's absolutely necessary, and I think we should preach it to our kids. If you're a boy, let the woman have her own. If you're a girl, learn to have your own. Because otherwise, if that was what was happening at home, so many women will not feel very bitter when you know you can take care of yourself.
This is true. This is
But a lot
very,
of you
very
go
true.
tell woman go talk say, I for come out so if not be say now because of una do waiting now because of una money they enter for me to take care of everybody. Now it make me
Hmm.
that is the storyline.
Hmm.
Maybe because of una, because if now because of una, you for come out if you get your own for hand. If you tell the
Right.
man say, even if na kobo na gari we go drink, it do me for body, I get my own.
Yeah.
But now because of una way I dey collect to take care of all of us, I no come out.
Hmm.
And that's what is killing us at home. So I maintain it wholeheartedly. Even if the woman is not working, come out, kobo, they save. Put for a rainy day. Because God forbid, the man, how you want to do the matter. And if the man we know they fit share any information, you not go fit do anything now.
That's
Period.
true.
Matter
You'll
don't
not be
close that.
you'll not
You
be
go,
at the mercy of people. Thank you so much, Femi. I really appreciate your support. Oku gbogbo gba mi, abi? That's how they say it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry, Bibi.
no. So I seriously, I hear when some ladies will be like, oh, we have a joint account. Well, have your own. You need your own. And
Hmm.
you as an individual person, you need to take care of yourself. You need your sanity. You need to process things. You need to think. You need to understand yourself. And so that comes with expense as well. What do I take in? What do I bring in? Even if you're not working, but
Right.
it's your own, it belongs to you with your name. That individuality still stands. It doesn't make you love the man less, but you're bringing something. You can stand back and say, let me get this one.
Right.
So it comes with a lot of pride. And so
Right.
that's my own take on it.
True
Okay.
talk. I want to just add to what you said. I agree with you completely. You know what? Sometimes I don't know whether they do it now. When you come to America, especially when you come with fiancé visa, as they expect you to get married, have a joint account, something to show
Mm-hmm.
that you guys are together. That is a
Mm-hmm.
requirement. But after that, just like you guys said, it is good.
Oh. Hey, audio not let us hear this fantastic point coming on. No. Uju, we bind that spirit of no audio. We bind and cast it.
I don't know what is going
Fire,
on with my phone.
pray, pray, pray.
Can you guys hear me now? What
Yes,
is
we
going on with
can.
my? Maybe I should just throw this phone away. What is going on?
You know what
Can,
make you bless us tonight? Lie, we rebuke, we
waiting
bind.
with this. Eh? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, you guys, you made great points. Like I said there, initially one of the requirements when you come here, fiancé visa, you must have a joint account, to show them that you're together. But after that, I advise it's better you have a separate account. Okay, leave that joint account for bills. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because let me tell you, when you have a joint account, you don't
Hey, come on. Somebody pray. Somebody pray. Pray.
I beg, that's what's in the name of that career. We supposed to write bad reports for them.
It's AT&T. I've never had any problem with them. Oh, I don't know what is
What
going
they
on.
do then this evening? May they take their time.
I
Oh.
know.
I don't. Can you guys hear me now? I don't know what is
Yeah.
going on
Yeah, we
now.
can hear you. Now
Yes.
the
So the
rain way
thing,
fall. Now the rain way fall.
number one person, because I've heard stories of one a spouse being a spendthrift and finishing the money in the joint account. You see, with
Spendthrift. He finish money inside together accounts. Ah, the man go vex now. Now if they make all the money, the woman that won't be nice. That's leaving nothing for the man. Eh?
But yeah, if it be say the man, then the man do the woman's before. Now the woman can say, okay, I go catch you. Now we don't reach America, your I go hear me.
Oh my God. Brother Jude, while we are waiting for Sister Uju for her internet to behave.
I'm so sorry.
Okay,
God.
we are here. We can hear you now. Continue.
So it's not that the man did the woman anything. The
Mhm.
woman has a problem with spending. You see, that
Hmm.
becomes a problem when you have a joint account. And the second part is when somebody is very abusive, will not allow the other person to touch money in that this joint account. So what are we saying? We're saying the same thing. It's better for you to have an account, a separate account from a joint account. You can use the joint account to pay your bills and all that stuff. If the spendthrift doesn't finish it though, you see. So that's just my advice. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry that my network is bad. All
No,
right.
thank you so much for your point. I really, really, really appreciate it.
You're
We
welcome.
understand. Thank you, sister. It's so good to hear your voice. Thank you so much. I appreciate your contributions as always, and it's really nice seeing you and hearing you again. So, Oga Jude, oh yeah, on this Ogbonge matter or about keeping money together or separating as a married couple, what do you have to say?
Well, I know you people may not agree on my own point, but anyway, I still have to say.
You can't start that. You can't start the sentence like that now. Maybe you go talk your own. We know I go argue now. No, no
Okay,
quarrel.
so let me say this, right? Someone said, well, as it works for both of them, fine. But we all know how the factor that money plays in every relationship or in every home. And one of the easiest way or one of the easier way of building trust in your spouses is when it comes to finance. Many homes today have been torn because of lack of trust when people are doing their own thing separately. Okay. If it's a place that, if it's in a situation that you trust your spouses and you really know that they can handle, he or she can handle the whatever income that comes to his hand or her hand, well, you can say, okay, let everybody keep whatever they are earning, and then decide on what to or how to appropriate the earnings for the family expenditures, monthly expenditures. Otherwise, the best way, if you really want to build a very unified uh, home, is to bring everything together and decide, both of you decide on how to apportion them. You might say, okay, 50% of every person's income goes to the general purse. Then the other 50%, each individual should have that for whatever thing they want to spend it on. You cannot, I mean, everything is, you know, being in agreement. Like the Bible says, can two work together except they agree? Agreement is very important. Both parties has to come together and discuss on how that, how it should go. Common pause has, there's nothing bad in common pause, having a common pause. But again, some people, we have seen oftentimes people abusing it, reaching to it without even the other person knowing, and but yeah, unity. Bible say, and the two shall become one. Unity should not only be in. I mean, without, I mean, this kind of situation, what again what again is left to say of a unity, or to exemplify that word of God that say, and two shall become one? Is it only coming together for procreation or to make babies? Is that the only thing about the unity, the two becoming one? No. One in all things. In all things. I think that's what the Bible is saying. Because when individuals are keeping their money, especially women, sorry to say this, we have heard stories, a lot of stories of women keeping their money and going to their father's house, parents' house, and building houses, setting up their siblings and all the rest. I'm not saying that is bad, but this some of them have done without the consent of the man. I mean, imagine at the end of the day what kind of um, impact it's going to have on the man when these kind of things are discovered. And of course, there has been story of such things leading to death of one individual because the man could not take it anymore after hearing such a thing, that the wife has gone, been using the money behind him to do all of those things in their homes. I don't know why this issue of having one pause should even be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem in the sense, for me, in the sense that if two people to come agree to come together in marriage, they both should of course have known what marriage is and what marriage entails. It's not if a marriage should be individual coming together and still become individual in their activities under the same roof, then there's no need for marriage. Or is it just then if you remove having a childbearing, then what else is left? What else exactly is left? So these are questions that both individuals, should be able to answer and resolve amicably by themselves. I know some men, I mean, are very overreaching. They are very controlling. I'm not talking about those controlling men that, want to dominate because they believe if they allow women to keep their wives to keep their money or their income, they will become excessive. They will become extravagant and wasteful. Not all women are wasteful. There are still women that are, there are still virtuous women out there, who will not always want to go to corner shop to buy things to cook or but want to go to no matter how far it takes to go and purchase things because they want to, get it at a very good price and maximize um, the the money that's the cost of the money they have. Okay, because when you buy things around in the corner shop, of course you know you're going to buy almost twice the amount if you really go to the real market where these things are sold. You know, there are some women that will never do that. When they have the money, they just rush, could I say laziness? They just buy things, things they could have bought maybe $100. They end up buying it $200 because they could not, or $150 because they could not um, go to where they could get it cheaper. Whereas there are some women that are very resourceful. Even when you give them money to take care of the house, out of you'll be shocked that they are saving some at the same time taking care of the house very well. Yeah, there's so many women like that. Okay, but where you have maybe you're unfortunate to have such extravagant ones, and you allow them to keep their money, and well, God help you. So that's what I'm going to say in that. Both parties have.
Oga Jude, sorry, please let me interrupt you. I just have one question so you can answer. Why did you get married? If I may ask.
Why did I get married?
Yes.
Why did I get married?
Yes.
I told you I'm married. All right.
Oh, okay, you're not married. Okay, so why would you get married if you're not married? Excuse me, please.
Well, why would I get married?
Yeah, why would you want to get married?
Bible says marriage is for companionship, for
Okay.
mutual benefit, and also for procreation. Procreation is something that comes naturally.
So if there's no procreation, what happens?
You say there's no
If
procreation.
there's no procreation, if you know the woman you marry doesn't want to have children, even though she told you she wanted to have children, but she changes her mind, what would you do?
And I mean, you can't change the rule. You can't change the rule of the game in the middle of the game. It's
Oh,
not.
but that happens. People do that.
Then that person is not sincere. Then of course, if you are a man like a man, it depends. If you can cope with that, fine. If you cannot cope, then you let her go.
Exactly. So
And we
you
agree.
said what I was expecting to hear. If you can cope with that. So the same thing goes for, when it comes to finances. You get married to a lady, and then in between she goes, you know what? I want to have my own personal money, and I do not believe in joint accounts. What do you do?
That's what I'm saying. Everything before you even get married at the beginning, all these things should be clarified.
But I'm saying that this change happens now you're married, but she changes her mind and says, you know what, I know myself better now, or I have evolved and I don't want to play that, I don't want to do that anymore. What do you
Well,
do?
it depends on the reason she is giving. She must have a reason for doing so. If the reason is not satisfactory enough, then which means she's asking for, trying to bring dissension in the family.
So you will not have enough empathy to love her with her changed mindset.
Whether I would not have, I mean, that has nothing to do with empathy here.
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No,
Because
it has
that you
nothing to
just
do
you
with
gave the
empathy.
perfect example of what Jesus Christ did
That is
when he
totally
was
different. This is totally different, my dear. It's totally different.
No, it's not.
Okay,
No, no, it's not.
what if the man, excuse me now, what about, okay, let's assume now,
Mm,
during the course of courtship or the course of, before they're married and the time they started relating with themselves and the woman tells the man, listen, I I would like to get married to you, but
mm-hmm,
to make this clear, I will never want to live in a house with another woman as a second wife or anything.
mm,
You're going to have um, uh, a side chick.
mm.
And the man, all of you agree. The man say, "Oh no, it's not going to happen." Okay, I've made up my mind. It's only you. Now, what about in the process? Now, the man one day calls the woman and say, "Hey, I think I need a second wife."
So we are back to
So
individuality.
the woman will now have to have empathy, right?
No, we are now back to that individuality that I talked about in terms of finances, because it is individuality that brought this about. The woman gets into the house. Maybe she was in Nigeria, but she comes to the United States and find out, oh, I can have my own separate bank account and I don't need to tell my husband. Oh, I can make my own money and I don't need to tell my husband. Or I don't need to share it. I don't need to share certain information. How much I make at work. I don't need to come back and share with my husband.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I mean, are you kidding me that you can even live with a woman or a man can even live with a man and both of you are hiding even how much you make at work?
Oh my goodness. Why
What
would you
is
want to
what?
find out?
I don't
What makes the woman individual?
Huh?
Why would you want? Why would she want to share how much she's making with you
So
if she
if she
doesn't
doesn't,
want to?
so if she shares, that makes her not to be individual anymore.
But if she does not want to share, are you going to make her share? Would
Well,
you get upset if she doesn't
I don't
want to
even
share?
want to marry a woman I cannot trust. If a woman cannot trust
It
me,
doesn't mean you can't trust her, but she does not want to share that personal information with you.
in the first place, I don't even think I want to have anything to do with such a woman that
My
will have a.
brother,
Honestly, I
you
don't
are
know.
living in the abroad. Welcome.
I don't know this abroad thing, how it's getting into so many into our people's head that many a times irrelevant things that to me, these are things that should come naturally, you know. To even me as a man, I'm more even my friends, or even people I just meet, I even let they even know how much I earn. Some people, when I want to encourage them to go into the profession that I am, I always encourage them and let them know, listen, you stand the position, you stand the chance of in the next few years after you have graduated or you started working, you can earn so amount. Look at how much in so place they pay in so place. Those things, I don't know. Maybe
No, but you see, that's
so many
different
things
from
people
you
look
having.
at as
That's
serious
different
things.
from you
To me,
having.
it's irrelevant. Huh? You say
But
what?
that's different from you having a wife that tells you, okay, I'm working at Walmart as a manager and I make money, but is it okay if I don't tell you how much I'm bringing in
I,
my
she
pocket every
can.
month?
If
It
once
does
she
not mean, I am not going to play my part as a dutiful wife.
now,
However,
why? Okay,
that
tell me what.
information of what I am earning, I
Can you
refuse
give me
to share
one
with you.
reason? One cogent reason why she would not want to tell the husband?
Wow. Because she doesn't want to. And she's entitled to that.
Anyway, but like the Bible says, say, let every man do as his thoughts persuaded.
Mm.
There's going to be perhaps there will be men out there who will say, okay, they won't bother about that, right? And then also at the same, okay, now you're asked, I don't know, this whole thing is it borders down on sincerity, it borders down on trust, it borders down on what both individual want in that relationship. If you want a secretive relationship, a relationship where everybody will have their own secret, will be keeping their own secret, fine. Remember, one thing can begin to build so many other things. You can decide not to tell me and say, oh, really? You don't want to tell me? And say yes. Then what do you think the man is going to do?
Hmm.
What do you think
Wow.
the man is going to do?
Wow.
You think the man is
I,
going to come home again and be discussing with the wife certain things about, maybe experiences he has gone through or certain things he has in mind to do or things like that? Do you think he's going to do that? That is recipe for disaster in a marriage. By the time these kind of things begin to happen, well, for those who think they can manage it, it's up to them. But the undiluted truth is that such behaviors is recipe for disaster in any marriage. Trust me, it's just a matter of time. So many cracks will begin to occur in that relationship. By the time whether it's a man or a woman begin to, be secretive about how much is earning. What is then? What do we call openness?
Okay, so
There's any marriage counselor in this world
Oga Jude,
or in any church that will tell a wife it's okay if you do that. I don't think there's any marriage counselor, any Christian marriage counselor that will say that.
okay, Oga Jude. So the
Yes.
whole point is this, right? Everything you're saying is fine. That's how you see it, right? That's how you want it. So everybody has their own way of, how they want to live their lives and what they want in their union. What you're saying is not wrong. There are women who believe exactly the way you believe. There are women, just to your point, there are very virtuous women out there that would, they're very open, they will share everything and all of that. So everybody, water get level, right? Everybody finds their level. So the whole thing here is, it might sound strange to you, but it's working for some other people. So if it doesn't work for you, because that's what you believe, that's how you see
your own union. That's what makes sense to you, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's a woman out there, there are multiple women out there who totally agree with what you're saying and are willing to, do that with you and it to be successful. But there are other people who believe in their own individuality and that's what works for them. So everybody will do what works for them at the end of the day. Some people have joint accounts and they have successful marriages. Some people don't and their marriages are working. Heck, some people don't even share the same bedroom. There are people who live in separate bedrooms. The man has his bedroom, the woman has her bedroom, and they have successful relationships. So that's why you cannot use one marriage to measure another marriage, because human beings are very, very complex and we are different in the way we do things and how we do it. So everything you're saying, there's nothing wrong with it. That's your belief. That's what you want. And you must find someone who aligns with you like that. So the thing will flow for both of you now. The same way, somebody who doesn't mind their partners having separate accounts and having a common pot for emergencies and all that, these things happen and it's working for.
Of course, I know it happens. Yeah, I know it
Exactly.
does.
That doesn't mean that they are less of, whatever it is they believe in or more. It doesn't at all. It just depends on how you want what is successful marriage to you and you've lined it up. But you now have to find somebody, which I'm sure there'll be no problem because there are multiple women who obviously think like this. They don't mind. In fact, perfect union, because that way you can both put everything together and they believe in whatever it is that you just shared. So there's no argument there at all. To each his own, to each his own at the end of the day. So everybody, some people will feel like they want to they for them marriage is beyond companionship. Marriage involves other things. Some people, marriage is just have children, that's it, cook for me, that's it, and it works for some people. There's no argument there. But others, I want my husband to scratch my back, oh, I want him to rub my feet, oh, right? So they'll find somebody who does that for them. People want what they want. Nobody can police what other people want, right? So as long as it's the whole point here, central point is it working for you? Are you happy? And if they say they are happy, who are we to say, this thing that you are not sharing with your husband, I see, I perceive that's problem good. No, it doesn't mean that. Everybody would live their life the way they see fit. That's the sum total of all of this. Some people don't see having a joint account. They don't want it. They want to have separate accounts and they believe in their own individualism. Nothing wrong with that if it's working for them. Others don't. Others believe when they marry, that's it. That's their husband. Everything he wants, they're going to do, and there's nothing wrong with that either. So everybody go day all right at the end of the day. Everybody go chop
Yeah,
breakfast.
that's why I say let every man do as
Everybody
his
go
thoughts
chop breakfast.
persuaded. So
Yeah, exactly. So everybody will be persuaded. At the end of the day, the important thing is find the person that aligns with what you want. The problem that sometimes relationships experience is that people have one thing in mind and they meet someone who does not believe in what they believe, but maybe because they want it, whether it's a man or woman, they will play along just to get what they want. Now, when they not get what they want and the person starts showing you who they truly are, then it becomes a problem. That's where the problem is. So, if, for instance, now with this example we have given, maybe a man believes that I want to have my own individual money and I believe in my own individualism. I don't believe in we must chewing gum each other every day. Another couple, right, will say, no, she has her own bedroom. I beg, let her sleep by herself there. I sleep by myself there. When we want to meet, we meet. They work for them, right? So everybody does their own. At the end of the day, we don't know which one is going to work out, which one is not going to work out. But everybody is doing the thing they know works for them. So that's the whole thing. And empathy comes from, even in those scenarios, there are people, when they have empathy, from everything we have learned, that I personally have learned today, empathy is not something that you just wake up and have. It's something that is deeper, right? So if you can feel and empathize, there's some people who say, oh, you know what, this is the reason why I like to have my own separate bedroom. And that person understands completely and gives them that space, right? Because they want they want that person to be as comfortable as possible and have what it is they're asking for. And it's working for them. Others, chewing gum, 5 and 6 everywhere, and co. Blue shoe, blue hat, blue danshiki, blue to match. And they are happy, you know? So,
And sorry, let me
yeah,
also add something. Let me also add something. See, just like we grow as kids, we become preteens, and then we become teenagers, and then we become, adolescents, and then we become adults. The same thing happens in marriage. If you ask people that have been married for a long time, one thing always stands out: be willing to be adaptable, be willing to be flexible.
if you
Why?
don't bend, you break. If you do not
Exactly,
bend, you're
because
gonna break.
people change, and the people that the change affects more are the women, because of one main reason: chemical hormones and imbalance. Now, if a man gets into that marriage and believes that, no, this woman has to be the same way I married her from day one to day 10, then there's a problem, because that means you're not willing to change with that woman. And the same thing, men change as well. So when you get into a marriage and you do not envisage changing happening, that is a recipe for disaster. You might as well kiss and say goodbye, because that woman will change. Even if you are living in the same house, you met her from the beginning till the end. Things different. Life happens. So a woman will change out of childbirth, out of chemical imbalance, out of menopause, out of, for no reason. The wind is blowing very loudly today, the woman changes. The rain is falling seriously today, the woman changes, which is why we have something called mood swings. Unfortunately, there are some mood swings that last for lifetime. So any man getting into a marriage and does not appreciate that, then that person is not willing to be married for a long time. That person will always, keep on changing, will always keep on seeing different persons. Because the woman, I mean, my husband that I'm married to, my wonderful friend, last month, I celebrated 19 years with him. Definitely, it is not.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's not the person that he married that is here today. I am a different person, but it does not mean that we are not committed to make it work. The same way I change and he embraced that change is the same way he changes and I embrace that change. So there is always going to be the change. I say good morning this morning. Everybody's good morning is different. So when you get into a union, be willing to appreciate and accept the change, because it is inevitable. Period. And that goes for everything: finances, whatever it is that comes with it, it is going to happen. Change always happens. Auntie Omoye, where you dey?
Are they here? Oh, are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
They celebrate Sister Uju for chat. 25 years now, beans.
And no, at all, oh,
Hey,
Sister Uju, they carry the torch. And they follow you for
hey.
back. And they follow
Na
you for back.
In fact, now beans, now be the fellowship and the PhD and the CEO of this institution. We be learners. We are still learning.
So
Oh
change
my
has to
God.
happen. Change has to happen. Just because the person agree, say, I get, okay, yes, I go follow you, do joint account. Tomorrow she feels I know they do joint account again. You don't do. I won't keep my money by myself. And in fact, I don't even know, I don't want to make you even know the balance with the inside. Nothing you can do, except you want to say, okay, the marriage and everybody, oh yeah, so say bye-bye. But you have to be willing to embrace that change. And that's what actually makes marriage beautiful. Because your body changes all the time too. So that change has to be embraced, that change, and then you celebrate it. And that is where the wahala is. It is when the changes happen that you now start frowning. But when you see it as, okay, let's learn this new phase. Let's learn this new life. Everybody is happy and the marriage continues. That's my
Hmm.
take.
Wow. I came to learn today. When I said you people, no see, my notes don't full. I don't graduate. I don't enter master's degree. Now master's degree, I just about to complete. Hey, see lecture. BB, thank you for your knowledge. Nobody knows it all. Thank you so much for stating it very, very succinctly. BB, I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Mirabel, Uju. You guys brought it. I really, really, I don't take it for granted, man. I'm learning so much from you guys. And this is the whole thing, right? When you have open conversations like this with people who are already in there, you understand, you learn to manage your expectations and understand that, okay, this thing is possible to work if both parties are willing to work. But sometimes the problem is one person is not willing to work, one person is not willing to bend. Then you start having these issues. It could be that maybe before they moved from Nigeria, it was the woman, and Mirabel break that thing down well. Now the woman, they cook and she had help. She has a domestic staff, she has a nanny, she has everything. And then you move, talking about change. You move to a country like America, for instance. Even by the time you get your job, you don't know the type of job you're going to get first and foremost, right? Or maybe one person has to go to school. So you already have schedules that are clashing with each other. And on top of it, maybe you now have kids and you don't have any of that assistance anymore. It becomes a problem and it takes a toll on the marriage, because now the man is still expecting the same types of treatment that he was getting while he was in Nigeria. But the woman is saying, come, level don't change. I cannot be cooking hot meals for you like that anymore. You forget that back home we had all the help. Now we don't. That's part of the problem. And then the problem will come, they rise, people know can they talk to each other anymore. And then on top of this matter of money, when we they talk now, maybe the man goes to say, no, we can actually do finances differently, or the woman will say, we can actually do things differently, and she decides that's what she wants to do. The man decides this is what he wants to do. Problem. That you can't communicate with each other because everybody is very stubborn headed and wanting it their own way, So at the end of the day, really, the person that you're with, I guess the conversation, if before you get married, if you're single and you're listening to this, the question you should be asking is, this person, is this person that I'm talking to, will we be able to communicate with each other to understand each other so that we will know what we're doing? Do they have enough empathy, or do they have the capacity to have that empathy? Because it will show in people's actions if they're going to have empathy. If they're not going to have empathy, they will tell you sooner than later that they're not going to have empathy. And usually they refuse vehemently to deviate from what they've known. They refuse, they stand on it because in their minds, that's what works, right? So anything that does not work with them based on their understanding, they push back on it, So with that, I think this is a great place to say au revoir to all of you. You guys brought it. I appreciate this topic. I want to thank especially my village sisters for showing up and dropping their knowledge. Mirabe, well done, well done, well done. BB, thank you so much for all the knowledge that you guys shared. Sister Oju, I love you, love you, love you all so much. I appreciate you all. I don't take you for granted at all. You're so, hey, BB, thank you so much, BB. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank you now, my village sister. Neka has gone to bed. Neka just abandoned me. Cool mama. All of them don't disappear. Well, thank you so much. Top notch. I appreciate you for showing up. It was really nice seeing you here. Thank you very much, Oga Jude, for showing up. I appreciate you. I'm going to be wrapping this up now. But thank you for your contributions. I really appreciate it, and it gave us something to talk about, which was really good. Buki Ade, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mirabel, my darling. CEO Mirabel. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I enjoyed every bit of it myself. Oh my God. Honestly, Bibi, thank you. No, now you, Uju and Mirabel, and do and well pass, I beg. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I love you all. And I guess we'll see each other. I never know when we'll get the next live. I know light to now. My schedule is really busy these days, and I have stuff that I'm working on as well. So I will try do another live before Saturday. I will try. However, make we leave I'm here for now. And I want to say thank you all for everything, for your contributions, and for your continuous support. I love you guys. I don't take it for granted that you show up here and support me. I don't take it for granted at all. Vic said something. Vic says, if the man expects his wife to be open, he has to be open to her from the beginning. Exactly. Thank you so much, brother Vic. I really appreciate that comment. That's what we're trying to achieve. Oh, may God help us. May He help us to do right by each other. So thank you so much, Vic. Thank you for your contribution. I thank you guys. Thank you, Femi Bash. I appreciate you. Eh? Femi Bash na my personal person. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Good night, guys. From here, see you again on my next live. Bye.